Hello, both sides of the conversation family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome everyone to Both Sides of the Conversation. We meet here virtually every third Sunday at 2 p.m. I am your co-host, Brittany Doyle. I would like to introduce you to the executive director and host of the show, John Henry.
Welcome everybody to Both Sides of the Conversation for our Sunday conversation. We are here today to have part 2 of our relationship conversation. I know everybody's been seeing on our social media handles, we've been giving out clips from part 1. This was an epic conversation for part 1. We have some of our guests from part 1 here today, so I'm looking forward to hearing from them, to follow up from some of the stuff that took place from part 1. Community, we heard from you. You all was asking for part 2. It is here today. We have some new perspectives and some new folks that's going to come on today for today's conversation, so I'm excited about that. Before we get into today's relationship conversation, I want to go through a couple of community announcements and some of the stuff that we have going on here at Both Sides of the Conversation. So with that being said, first off, I want to give a huge shout out to our community partner, East Oakland Collective. This Saturday, we did Feed the Hood 19, where we was able to get out 2,000 meals to community, 2,000 care packs and gears to the community. Phenomenal event. 100 plus volunteers out in the community. Also, we had the Heal the Hood version of it as well. We had the Freedom Clinic in Oakland, where we were out in Alameda by the Home Depot, where we was out there. It was packed. We had barbers, we had salon folks, a number of community folks doing stuff to impact our unhoused families and our unhoused brothers and sisters, so people were able to get chiropractor services, mental health treatment, physical therapy. They had clothes out there. They had makeup folks out there doing makeup for the ladies, doing nails, different things of that nature to make our folks feel important and impactful as we approach the holiday season. It's always a good thing to uplift people's spirits with that type of care and services. So just want to give a huge shout out to all of the volunteers, all of the community organizations that came through to make that event happen. Phenomenal event. Our community was impacted, and we were honored just to be a part of that, both sides of the conversation with the rest of the organization. So phenomenal event. And, just looking forward to many more to come. Also want to give a huge shout out to SF Rebels, to the Human Rights Commission, to Director Davis, for having our Read Kits out there for the community. They've been kicking this education campaign on for our young folks, and Nate running the NBA Junior League, making sure that our young folks stay connected with education, books, and a lot of information that came into the community. So just happy to see that successful event take place. It was a great event to see our young folks, our families, making sure that these educational needs continue to impact our community. So thanks, Director Davis. Thanks, Nate, for the continued leadership and the continued commitment to making sure that education stay a part of all of the sports and all of the activities that take place in community. Also want to give a huge shout out to Dahlia Fitzpatrick and to the OMI and to the early African-American educators with the STEM frenzy event that they had yesterday, where they took our young people out to Sausalito, to the military base, and getting those kids out of the community and showing them about STEM and engineering and different things of that nature. Phenomenal event. I wasn't able to make it to that event, but I've seen some of the photos. Great job that they're doing to impact our young folks, educating them, getting them into STEM. So just wanted to give them a shout out as well. And then Uncle Stank, James over at Collective Impact, for doing the race conversation that's taking place, these series of conversation about race in our city, across this country. Some phenomenal facilitators bringing information, historical race issues and things that impact our communities every day. So just happy to be a part of that. And we was running around all yesterday, and it's hard to get to these events. I know a lot of people texted me, upset, John, you didn't make it to my event. I apologize. It's just me. I'm just one person. I try to get to as many of the events that I could get to. But unfortunately, I can't make it to all of them. So for those folks that are upset, I'm sorry. Both sides of the conversation, we'll find a way to get to any of your upcoming events. It's just a lot that we're doing, a lot of places that we are being pulled, but we will be out there to support your events, and we will continue to support you through our social media platform as well. So with that being said, I want to give my brother Toriano a huge 50th birthday shout out. His birthday was yesterday, and just phenomenal to see the brothers, the kings of the community growing up. Nice to see a brother make that 50 milestone. So just want to give him a shout out and some love as well. And, we just going to continue to keep doing what we're doing. A lot of things are happening, especially here in the Bay Area. Has been an increase of violence in our community. We're going to continue to talk about this. Our communities are getting impacted as the inflation is going up. The unemployment is happening. We are really starting to be impacted. We're seeing it across the news. I know on our social media, we've been posting whatever is going on. It's just been happening. So across the Bay Area, across this country, has been happening. These malls have been getting hit. The Louis Vuitton store, the Chanel store, a number of stores in our Union Square has been ramshacked by flash mob looters. Across the Bay Area, there's a number of cities that have been impacted. In Fairfield, they had a couple of robbery heists where folks were coming in there, smashing the jewelry cases, snatching all of the jewelry. Stanford, the Rolex store was hit. Just continued things happening in our community, and then continued violence in our community. Another freeway shooting where some young folks were impacted. Here in the Bay Area, there's been 75 freeway shootings this year. Very terrible news to continue to see our young people and people's lives being put in jeopardy when people are unleashing bullets in the middle of broad day traffic. And we've already had a couple young folks killed from them stray bullets. We got to do better. We want to continue to do our part here to work with community, work with our young folks. But as these monies get tight and we get closer into these holidays, people are just being very, very reckless and doing things that they probably wouldn't do just for this holiday season. So terrible news to just hear all what's going on. There's been stuff happening all across this country. As we try to brace through this holiday season, please, families and our ladies of the community, be safe out there. We know Black Friday is coming up. Be safe out there. There's been a lot of robberies at our mall, people walking up behind women, robbing them at gunpoint and things of that nature. So be safe as we approach this first holiday season. Want to also say, we gave out 100 turkeys last week in the Collective Impact. We got another 200 turkeys that we're going to be giving out this Wednesday, and we'll be getting that information out. We're trying to make sure that all of our families get turkeys this year and different things of that nature. So the support is coming. We'll be getting that information out. Looking forward to that. All right. With that being said, a couple of announcements. If you all don't know, this past week, the Kyle Rittenhouse case, the young man who killed protesters in Wisconsin, was released and dropped of all charges. And the continued dialogue is continuing to happen. People are still frustrated as the justice system here in the United States is still unfairly just for us. And to see a young white kid get off killing two people with all charges dropped is just something that we just can't grasp and hold. There's been an increase of police violence in the community with arrests. So there's still work that we have to do with this. It's not over. And as we start approaching to the end of this Aubrey case, we just got to really just stay tuned and get involved, man. I mean, these actions that's been going on just can't stop. So more information to come out about all these cases and what's going on, but we got to stay committed, community. We got to get involved with these conversations with our police. And, we got to hold these elected officials accountable about what's going on. Very terrible, terrible stuff. Also, the UN has been in the United States reaching out. There was a tennis player in China who came up missing. And I know they're trying to send out information to different folks over there in China to find a tennis player. But unfortunate information. Hopefully she's sound and found safely and nothing happened. But it's just, crazy things happening across the world, but also just across this country as well. So be safe out there and be mindful when you're out in community. With that being said, some of the community announcements that is coming up, the San Francisco Black Wall Street will be announcing the launch of their Black Millionaire Development Program. They will be providing technical support, networking opportunities, and grant resources to support pathways for wealth ownership for Black entrepreneurs. They got a cohort that's going to be kicking off for the TAY population, ages 18 through 30, and seniors 55 plus. We'll be getting more information as Black Wall Street sends that information over how you could get connected. You can also go to the SF Black Wall Street website to get more information as they are continuing to push out information for community to get involved. Both sides of the conversation in East Oakland Collective, we are doing our continued supply and toy drive. The drop-off location is at 7800 MacArthur Boulevard, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'll get all this information on the screen as we get through today's conversation. But we are still looking for donation, coats, blankets for our unhoused folks. As we are approaching this winter time, it is getting cold, and a lot of folks need the support and those efforts. So please, if you would like to donate, please go out and do that. The Indian Basin Shoreline every Wednesday and Friday are still doing the Get Organic Groceries. They're going to be doing that until supplies last. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Wednesday and Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And they also are giving out hot free meals. So if you want to connect with that, I know Rafiki is a part of that, and it'll be at the Indian Basin Shoreline. So if you want some organic groceries and some hot meals, please stop by the Indian Basin Shoreline and pick up that stuff on those Wednesdays and Fridays. Also, there's a community roundtable about the COVID vaccination discussion happening December 2nd. From 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the African American Center at the main library in San Francisco at 100 Larkin Street. I know a lot of people are still having questions and conversations about the young folks getting this vaccination. We're going to have some phenomenal doctors and folks there, so you can definitely stop.
I'll be on that panel.
Yeah,
I'll be on that panel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we'll be having to be a great conversation. Also, Jingle All the Way at the Bayview Opera House is happening on December 18th from 12 to 5 p.m. It's going to be a number of Bay Area artists going to be there. It's going to be hosted by Mac Mall and a couple of other rappers from the Bay Area. And also there's going to be vendor pop-up. There's going to be a number of things happening at that event as well. So looking forward to getting that out and getting that out to community. Also, the Human Rights Commission is doing their Evening Academy, which is happening on Wednesday, December 1st from 6 to 8 p.m. You can register at the HRC, the Academy. I'll get that information on there. That'll be coming up for community. Also, Suge is doing a Christmas to Remember, live entertainment, vendors, great food, and they're giving out toys and prizes on December 19th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's going to be happening at Cafe Envy, 1701 Yosemite Street. It's an outside event. I'll get that information up to community. With that being said, for both sides of the conversation, announcements, our next Sunday conversation that we'll be having is December 19th. We'll be talking with the doulas and midwives, talking about, how is that better than the hospital and different things of that nature. Also, we probably will be having one paid sponsorship event for a Sunday conversation on December 5th. With the Rafiki Coalition. We're finalizing that information, but we'll be getting that out to community as soon as we know. It definitely will be a conversation around COVID and the vaccination. So looking forward to that. Here at both sides of the conversation, we are gearing up, getting ready for Giving Tuesday. As you all know, this, November 30th is the Giving Tuesday, where a lot of nonprofits, organizations, and funders tend to give back to nonprofit organizations as we are, and we're looking forward to getting that information out to the community. Continue to support the work that we do here at both sides of the conversation and the stuff that we're doing in the community to help impact our community, and also to make sure that these conversations that we're going to have today and the ones that we do out during the week will continue to happen. So if you would like to support, please look up the information that'll be coming out for our Giving Tuesday. And also another way you can support, if you like to shop on Amazon, and we know so many people do, you can sign up on the Amazon Smile and donate a percentage of your purchase, and you could nominate Both Sides of the Conversation as one of your charities that you would like to give to, and a portion of your sale for every Amazon purchase, a small portion without a charge, will go to help support our efforts and what we're doing. So we are happy for all the folks that will continue to support us. This next Thursday, we will not have an Educational Thursday presentation for our Educational Thursday because it is Thanksgiving. So we will be not having a show for that Thursday, but we also will be playing some replays of some of the shows that we played in the past, and we'll be getting those informations out through all of our social media handles. With that being said, I'm going to close my mouth now. I've said enough. That's what's going on. We're going to go ahead, turn over to Brittany, drop some of this information, and then we're going to go ahead and bring our panelists up, and let's get this fire conversation going.
Okay, I'm definitely ready for that. So relationships part 2, that is the topic for today. So just to give you some information on the background and a little bit of education on where we're at right now. Our communities are plagued with broken homes and single parent households. The breakdown of the family structure continues to negatively impact our Black and Brown communities. Today in this segment, we want to continue to discuss these issues and possibly produce some solutions that will build positive relationships to heal our communities. Over the last few decades, marriage has been a declining institution among all Americans, and this decline is even more evident in the Black community. And so I'm going to go more in detail about the problem, and if you want to see more about the data that supports everything that I'm talking about, you can find this on our website, or you can also find this on our YouTube page. But I'm not really going to go into the data today. So although fewer Black women are now married, more Black women than Black men have been married at least once. And this is because a higher percentage of Black women are divorced and widowed than men. African Americans are the least married of any major racial ethnic group in America. And this is according to the 2019 census. And there is evidence of an increase of Black men marrying out of their racial demographic. Now, cultural views on relationships, dynamics, and family structures have moved away from what we used to consider the traditional norms. And the US Census also illustrates that 67% of native-born adults have never been married compared to 76% of foreign-born adults. And also there's a common theme in marital trends as that millennials are getting married much later in life compared to our baby boomers. New data shows that younger couples are approaching relationships very different from baby boomers who were married young, divorced, remarried, and so on. And so Generation X, and especially millennials, are being pickier about who they marry, tying the knot at older ages when education, careers, and finances are on track. The result is a US divorce rate that dropped 18% from 2008 to 2016. Now, when we talk about the social and economic barriers to marriage, social barriers include marital aspirations and expectations, norms about childbearing, financial standards for marriage, the quality of relationships, an aversion to divorce, and children by other partners. Economic barriers include financial stability, job security, mortality, and imprisonment rates are high among Black and Brown men and have impacted barriers to marriage as well. And so today we'll be talking about possible solutions, but this is what we've come up with so far, just to get the conversation started. So that a possible solution to the downward trend in marriage is to support Black and Brown men to have more access to a support system of people with healthy relationships, education, job training, opportunities for entrepreneurship, and financial security. Premarital counseling could have a positive impact on the longevity of relationships and marital counseling through the life of the relationships. And although there is no one real answer to how we can build and develop healthy relationships, as we just talked about, there are so many dynamics that go into play. We're going to have a great conversation today and just really hear about different people's, perspective on what we're about to talk about. So I want to introduce our wonderful panel that we have today. And as I call your name, you please go ahead and, come up, or you'll be brought to the screen. and just say a little bit about who you are. And we're going to start with Darius Howard.
Hey there. Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead, D.
All right. Well, yeah. As being introduced, my name is Darius Howard, from Louisiana, Lake Charles, Louisiana. Actually, born and raised there. Now currently live in Florida. Actually, Kissimmee/Point Siena, either one. Definitely happy to be a part of this show here today. Sorry that my lady, she couldn't join us. She's kind of under the weather, been kind of taking care of her all weekend, but looking forward to a good conversation, interacting with other men and women of my culture and seeing what everyone has to say. Hopefully everybody gets along here and doesn't make anyone too upset, but hopefully what I have to share hits somebody, if not on the show, outside the show, just watching.
Thank you so much for joining us. Next up, we have Aaron Wise III.
Go ahead. Unmute yourself, Abe.
Did I do it?
Yeah, you good. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, you can hear me. Hi, everyone. My name is Aaron Wise III. Born and raised in San Francisco, California. Currently residing in Sacramento. I've been married to my lovely wife, Camille, for 20 years. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what's going on out there in the dating culture and just offering some insight. I'm just want to be a resource, I guess you should say. Over the course of time, I just found like you just have to have mentors on both sides of it. You have to have older ones and younger ones, and you learn from both sides of it. So just looking forward to having a good conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, we have Adrina Newman.
Hi, everybody. My name's Adrina Newman, aka Masterpiece. I am the CEO of Get That Body Right. I would say I'm 42 years young and I am single. I was conceived in Jamaica, but I was born here in Houston, Texas, where I currently reside. I'm super grateful to be a part of this panel today, one to learn, to grow, and to share my heart in my space and my light. So thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us. Next, we have Latoya Pitcher.
Hello, everyone. My name is Latoya Pitcher, and by day, I do IT cloud-based customer solution work, and by night, I do my company is Family Equity Partners, where I promote the humanization of Black people in our country.
Love it. Thank you for joining us. Vivian Mason.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me on again. This is something that I've been looking forward to for these last couple weeks. I am 43 years old. I am single, no children, and I am an entrepreneur. I own dirtygirlstx.com for all your self-satisfactory and couple needs. And I'm just here to give my input on being a single Black woman in America.
And we gonna get to that dirty girl. Y'all watch out. We gonna get everybody dirty girl.
Yeah, I'm excited, Vivian. I saw some of your clips from the last show, so I know you coming with it. Fantana Shabazz.
You better say my name right next time you introduce me.
My apologies.
I'm joking. How you doing? Hello to the rest of the panel. As introduced, I'm Santana Shabazz, and I am a native of New York City. By day, I am a VP of Facilities in Corporate America, currently looking for another job. And what I love to do is I love to do life coaching. So Santana Says is the name of my life coaching organization. And thanks for having me on again for the second time, John. Look forward to engaging conversation with everyone here.
All right. Thanks to have you back, brother.
Next, we have Renard Monroe.
Hi, everybody. I'm Renard Monroe, president of Invest Black Community Collaborative and also executive director of Youth First after school and summer programs here in San Francisco. Been living in San Francisco since 1993. Born and raised in Oakland, California. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Carl Heiliger.
We can't hear you, Carl. Unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Go ahead, Carl. Try to log out and log back in. We'll get back to you. Try to log out and log back in. Go ahead, Brittany. Just go to the next one. We'll come back to him.
That's all we have. That's it. This is our panel for today. And then we
got Renata.
I'm so sorry. Renata. Renata Mason. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's all good. Okay, so I'm Renata Mason. I'm born and raised in Louisiana as well, but I currently reside in Houston, Texas. I am the sister of the infamous Vivian Mason with 30 Girls, Texas. I am single as well with no children, and I'm here to give my insight on dating in today's world. So I'm looking forward to this great conversation.
All right, we'll try to pull Carl up and see if we can get Carl back up. Hold on one second. Go ahead, Carl. Unmute yourself. Let's see if we can hear you. No, we still can't hear you, Carl. Try to log out and log back in with that link, and we'll get you up.
It seems like Carl need a woman's touch over there.
All right, well, that's everybody. We'll try to get Carl back in. We got to get him to go out and come back in. We'll try to get him in, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I know the community is waiting. I see the text message. I don't know why these people keep texting me. Go to our YouTube, put the comments and questions in there, but we'll get started with today's conversation. This should be a very impactful conversation. As Brittany so stated, there was a lot of clips that we have from the last one. So first, I just want to address the questions that all of the ladies emailed me and text me about the comments that Mark made. Unfortunately, Mark was not able to be on the panel today, but we'll get Mark on here. So all the ladies had a problem with Mark talked about how he wanted to, or he said that sometimes we have to trick women into the things that we want as men. So that was a firecracker question. But I definitely want to make sure that we address it. I know what he meant, but I want him to speak for himself, but he wasn't able to come today. So we'll make sure we get Mark here, and we'll probably come back with some more of these relationship conversations. And then it was another one, but I think that was my, I see Carl coming back in. Let's see if we get Carl this time. Hold on. We'll see if we get Carl now. All right, Carl, can we hear you? Can you speak now? We still can't hear you, Carl.
I haven't said anything. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead and say something, brother.
Yeah, that's it. So yes, I can't see anybody, but my name is Carl Heiliger, Brooklyn-based. I've been a perpetual bachelor for years, but I recently embarked upon a relationship. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'll share my point of view as the conversation unfolds.
All right. So that's all of the panelists that we have. As you all see, we have a full house. I believe one or two of you be backstage, and we'll just bring you up when you have a comment, because we do have a full house today. But we're going to start off with the queens to start off today's conversation, as we always will. Make sure that we get the lovely ladies to start off about their relationship issues or their relationship challenges that they want to bring up. But while one person is speaking, if everybody could just remember to mute their mic. Community, please use our live chat on our YouTube if you got questions, comments, or anything of that nature. But there was one question that we wanted to at least lead off with. How do we date today? What does healthy dating in today's environment look like? We're going to kick it off with that, and we're going to start the conversation. I know it's going to pick up as we keep going, but we'll start it off with that conversation. For any of the ladies who want to start off, please unmute yourself and go ahead and get started. What does the dating look like today, and what is the healthy dating environment looks like?
So I guess
Okay. Go ahead, Vivian. Both Vivian and I are speaking at the same time. It's going to be hilarious. Okay, guys. So I will say, as far as dating currently right now, I will say it's a concern for the single life, only if you, A, know your worth, and B, will not tolerate being treated less than. So if you're a person that you're saying, you know what, I just want to be in a relationship at this time, it doesn't matter with who or what the situation is, then you're probably happy. But if you have standards, I will say it's probably a very challenging time. Now, as far as looking into a healthy relationship, first thing I would say is great communication, understanding, peace, patience. Those are some of the qualities that I would say would look towards a healthy relationship. And that's my opinion.
Okay. Any other ladies want to jump in there?
I'll chime in. The dating world today, being that I'm single, that's the answer right there. How it is a little bit crazy. No, as far as dating today, it's a lot more difficult nowadays. I think a lot of people speak on like the traditional way of dating versus now, and with social media, the access to more people, the fake relationships, our relationship goals makes it difficult nowadays for dating. But yeah, sorry, I'm a little out there. But anyhow, yeah, so it's a little bit difficult for single people. I just had a conversation the other day with someone who they're married, and I was telling them pretty much like right now you don't want to be out here in this dating world. I mean, I'm not gonna say for everyone. I know some people have some successful situations, but right now, dating right now, it's very difficult. It is extremely difficult. So.
Well, for me, honestly, hey everybody. Hey. So for me, I honestly right now I'm having a tremendous amount of fun with it. People are gonna be who they are. I'm in a position now in my life as a single woman. I've been single for a very, very long time. I allow people to be who they are, and I filter the trash that I don't want and put it in the garbage disposal. So at this point in my life, dating is just fun. You know, I've embarked on a new journey for myself. So opening up to allow myself to be vulnerable has taken on a new dynamic in the dating world for me. At first, I ain't gonna lie, it was a little bleak because I'm continuously, you know, wanting to be in the realm of maybe I'm going to meet the one, maybe, you know, today is going to be the day, you know, but now I've completely let go of that. I am just enjoying the company of others. I am enjoying the company of handsome, sexy men. I just met a man literally 30 minutes ago who is a model and was just having a great time with him at the bar. I'm playing with him. I had the menu up and I was like, you know, all the judges giving you 10, but my ass gonna give you a 20 because you so damn fine. You know, I'm just enjoying it, having a good time. And that's what I'm looking at right now. Just embarking on meeting somebody in this moment in my life. So that's what dating is looking like for me right now.
So that's why you was late to my show. You was out there cupcaking. You see what I'm talking about? This is all right, Latoya, you want to jump in there? Go ahead, Latoya.
Sure. So I am a divorced single mother of 3. I'm 38 years old, and I am not dating because I don't believe in dating anymore. I believe in courtship, then engagement, and then marriage. For me, dating is a waste of time, and it devalues me throughout the process because I don't believe in giving too many people access to you. I'm not hating on anyone who is dating. Go do what you do what makes you happy. Why you put the dirty girls up on me? Shout out to Viv and Dirty Girls TX. But yeah, that's my perspective on it. My last courtship was 2 years ago, ended 2 years ago, I should say. So yeah, and I'm actually okay with this.
All
Question.
Right. Go ahead.
Latoya, can you expand on your definition of courtship? Just curious, do you just jump into saying You know, we just met online, you're my boo. We went on one date, you're my boo. So can you, for those of us that want more understanding of what you mean, define what you mean by courtship, please?
Thank you, Miss Adrina. Yeah. So I was on part one of this conversation, and I shared a couple of key concepts around courtship. One of them was about a happy husband being a good farmer. He has to motivate, cultivate, of course, there's procreate in there, and then also provide and protect his land. So it has to be, it's not just about going out to eat. Or having conversations, whether they're online, over the phone. I've tried meeting people online and it's okay. I'm more of an organic person. I prefer to meet you just living everyday life. Just a little easier to cut through some of the tape and the stuff. But courtship it's not like a one and done thing. It's over a period of time. And it's not, and I've talked about this a tad bit. This is why I don't subscribe to the 90-day think like a man rule that Steve Harvey talks about in his book and his media, because I don't think you should put a time limit on it, number one. And number two, if you do put a time limit on it, it's just like if you go to a job, you just have to be on your best behavior and keep your mask on for 90 days past probation, and you're in there, and then you're going to get comfortable and be who you truly are. So I just don't put a time limit on it, and I let people come out who they are. Usually within 30 days, I can kind of figure out if it's someone I want to continue to allow access to me, or, I kind of just take it 1 week at a time. And then also it's a character thing. So I have some very clear expectations I'm looking for in terms of character and quality of human that I'm dealing with.
Wow. A little different, but okay. So for the fellas on here, we're gonna start moving around for the fellas because we want to get this conversation going and engaging. We heard from the ladies. You heard some of the issues that they said. I didn't hear from Brittany. Brittany, did you want to get in there and say anything? Because I don't want to miss you.
I agree with everything that everyone has said, a little bit of everything. And I think that, with healthy dating, it's just being intentional. Being intentional about what it is that you're doing, ensuring that the person that you are connecting with, I feel like you guys, that we should be on the same page, have a mutual understanding of, what we're doing and where we're moving. If it's a booty call, then it's a booty call. If we're moving towards a relationship, then we're both on the same page with that. And I just think that with all of that and just, honest communication and no ambiguity, I think that also, serves as a healthy component to relationships. And that's the only thing that I can add. I like Latoya, I like what you were talking about, with the courtship. And that's, again, just being intentional and knowing exactly what it is that you want and just moving forward with that. And I feel like the person for you is going to be on that same page.
Now, Brittany, my PR team already told me I can't say anything crazy, but I got to stop you right there. Now, if men come out and tell you that we just want a booty call, how many relationships do you think we're going to make from that?
Well, some women just want booty calls. And then that's it.
Women do want booty calls. Oh, okay.
It's just be honest. Sometimes you just don't want to go out on dates and stuff like that. You just kind of want to lay up and, be booed up for the night, and that's it. But you got to be honest about that.
Okay. All right, fellas, we done heard some few things. We're going to get this conversation heated up and going. I'm going to open up to the fellas. I know my guy Aaron going to have some good. Santana, everybody, go ahead. Y'all can start working into this. Let's talk about some of the struggles, where we at as men dating, meeting people. These women trying to get a free meal, as they said earlier. Some people dating for a free meal. I don't know what y'all experience is, or just in your marriage. We can talk about it both ways. What do y'all think? Y'all see it now? Either way, married or unmarried, whatever. I don't matter which way. I just want to hear from my brothers. Go ahead.
I'll start off. Currently, right now, I'm in a relationship, and it's probably one of the happiest times I've been in. To be quite frank, I'm divorced, was divorced in 2016, but going back to the word intentional, I can't quite remember who said it. I think it was the lady Latoya, and Brittany also piggybacked on being intentional. I met her to be intentional this go around. I told myself the next woman that I meet, I'm going to be intentional about giving all my time to her the best way that I can find out to do so. And so when I met her, it was right off the bat, I know I want to marry this woman. Crazy for me to even be saying this, because I know I used to do a lot of things that definitely not proud of, but nevertheless, I made sure that I was intentional from jump, courting her, dating her. And I think as men, we're told that we need to do so many things to be able to be with a woman. It kind of makes it hard to find a place to start. So I just started. I'm still going on this day forward. Within a year's time, we've accomplished so much together. It wasn't, oh, Darius, you need to do this to be with me. Darius, you need to give me this amount of money. Darius, you need to take me to 5-star restaurants. She allowed me to be who I am, which is a natural, type of caregiving individual. I do stand my ground for the most part. I don't let her run over me, but nor do I run over her. And that person, my lady, we happen to be on the same page at the right time in life. And so that's why, as of right now, I don't have too much negative things to say in the dating world, because I hear it enough. I'm just here to actually let people know that Black love is real. I am an individual going through Black love as of right now, and it's a powerful thing as well. And because it's so powerful, I'm learning how to embrace it. I don't even know if my heart big enough to embrace everything that's happening positive between me and my lady Melody. And hopefully someday we can be a beacon for a lot of others who do want to date, who do feel as if Black love is diminishing the way that I do see people write about it on Facebook and Instagram and all different parts of social media. If me and her can be a beacon to anybody, we definitely want to be that as a young couple. I'm 38, she's 36. And I just want to keep pressing on with her and growing with this woman as much as possible, and then eventually getting into marriage, because I do want to marry her. We have some things that we have to clean up, and we have cleaned up a lot of things, but there's still maybe 3 or 4 more things that we're getting into the works, and then we'll be able to make that step. But for my women out there that think that there's no good men, there are. For my brothers out there that think there's no good women, there are. We just have to be ready for when they come our way, because a lot of us, we don't tend to be ready, and we think that we are.
I love that.
I'll take that.
Love
I still
that.
got some questions about it, but I'll wait. I'm
You
here.
better say her name, Darius.
Yes.
Her name and let them hold. You better say her name.
The hearts in the group right now, but we'll keep it real too. We'll get there. But I'm happy for you, brother. But we're gonna move along. Go to the next brother. Go on. Whoever want to jump in there, Renard or Aaron. I see we got another brother that just jumped in too.
Oh, I jump in there. I heard a lot of good things as far as from the ladies. It's always interesting. I heard courtship, and does the courtship begin with does it begin with looks? Because as a man, like my process was always, I had to be attracted to you physically. Like it had to be a physical attraction for me first and foremost. Like men don't walk around and think, oh, I wonder if she's intelligent. That's not the first thing that they're thinking. They're looking and they're observing and they're admiring a woman's beauty. And then it goes on, at least me, and then it goes on to a deeper level. So once you get past that part of it, and then you get to see the substance of a person, right? You get to really, see, or hopefully you get to see in depth, like what that person is really made of. Like, so in my process, I've been married 20 years. So at the time, I dated my wife in college for a short time, and we always remained friends, and I always respected her. And we would keep in touch with one another. So by the time like we reconnected, I had literally been through enough relationships that I knew what I would tolerate, what I wanted, what I didn't want, what I was willing to accept. And then on the other side of that, I was flexible because I knew we could grow together. And that's the most important part. Like the process of being able to grow together and allow each other to be who you are, because it's a bond. Marriage is a bond, but it's also a partnership, and it's a friendship, and you have some individuality in marriage also. But that's pretty much, it was sort of like a question statement, but
That's what's up. Santana, jump in there. I see you say you want to say something. Santana, where you at, brother? Oh, Santana having some
1 second, John.
Well, while we waiting on Santana, we got to dig a little deeper into this intentional dating and red flags and all these little hot topic buttons that we're pushing, that we hear in these dating realms now. But I got to move the conversation in a little bit, but I know where I'm going with it. But go ahead, Santana, jump in there.
So, John, what was the original question? Repeat that for me again.
So the original question was, how do we date today? You know, dating today is totally different than it used to be, right? What does healthy dating in today's environment look like? You know, for the people out there that's trying to get into this relationships or trying to date, you know, what does it look like? You know, I mean, you know, from your perspective, what does it look like?
That's a great question. Healthy dating looks like this in today's society, if people will do it. Healthy dating is simply this. When men can conquer their sexual desires and be transparent, and when women can actually conquer their emotions in place of facts. And it really works when we all can be honest with one another about what we desire and what we're looking for. It's that simple.
Wow, you put that right to the point. So I guess what you're trying to say is men want women who are emotionally stable and not a mental liability, right?
Let me expound. Let me expound. And by the way, ladies, fellas, I want all the smoke today. Okay? I got my signs and everything. We can do it. Listen, here we go. What women don't understand is when men are speaking about facts, your feelings don't really apply. Not when you're talking about matters of what has happened or circumstances. Now, if you're talking about matters of the heart, yes, men, we have to be honest and disciplined enough to listen to women when they talk to us about what their emotions are and what they are feeling in their emotions. There's a difference in a feeling and a fact. Men, we have to be honest about where we choose to lay our penis, and we have to be honest about how many women we want to lay our penis with. Everybody ain't signing up for men to date multiple women. Be honest about it. Even though you guys said how many relationships we have, if men were honest, you'd be surprised. A fact that Brittany, what's her name? Brittany, what's her name on the panel with us?
Brittany.
Brittany, I'm sorry, sister. I got your name wrong. You got mine wrong.
Are we still on that?
There was something that you didn't bring up, and I didn't expect for you to. Polygamy and swingers, those types of organizations and groups are at an all-time high now, because women would much rather be with men who understand and men who are honest about what their intentions are. So back to you guys' intentions. So if we're not honest and we can't control our sexual desires, if we make a commitment and we can't be honest about where we're going to go as men in the relationship and what we want from a sexual standpoint, and if women cannot channel their emotions, we're going to continue to clash, period. And if anybody can tell me different, I'll send you $100.
All right, my brother Renard want to get up there. Let me get Renard up there. Go ahead, brother Renard.
Let me unmute myself. So, I mean, when I'm speaking from, forgot my brother's name that spoke earlier, but I was married also 20 plus years, but ended up getting divorced. And relationships are hard, man. So I don't know. I actually don't even know what dating looks like, because it's been so long, and then things are different now. I mean, in today's society, like you got all this social media and all the other things. And I think Santana brought up a good point as far as how many people you lay with and all of those things. But also needs to be said is just the differences of human beings as far as how you want to date, because sometimes you gotta date a bunch of people because it just doesn't fit. Like your lifestyle doesn't fit with their lifestyle, or the differences of opinion, differences of you have children or that person doesn't have children, and how do you connect those two things? So a lot of things go into relationships, but I will say I can't speak for women, and I hate when we try to do that, when men speak for women and women speak for men. It's because everything happens on an individual basis. And like certain women, they go by a word, right? I want, patience, love, and all of those things sound great, but that's not your everyday life. Like fitting all of those things in as far as understanding each other is important. Just understanding where do where are you in life, and where are you trying to go in life? What motivates you? What can motivate me? All of those things, tie into dating. And I think that's the most important part for me. I don't like to put people in boxes. I'll try to allow you to be who you are, and I expect the same from the other person. Allow me to grow, allow me to be something, and allow us to grow together. You know what I mean? A lot of times in relationships, you're not allowed to grow together because you got all these people in your relationship. You know what I mean? You in a committed relationship, but your best friend isn't in a committed relationship, and they're telling you all type of stuff that is detrimental to a committed relationship. But I'm interested to see where this conversation goes. I have a lot of interesting points because I've been married and now I'm dating, so I got two different, as John would say, both sides of the conversation. So I got both sides. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see, especially from the men, to be honest with you, because every person is different. But hearing from men is more important to me because I want to see how they actually feel, because we don't share a lot. You know what I mean? We just don't share a lot. So to get us to share and communicate is important, because it also can help us heal.
Man, very powerful stuff, Renard. I'm glad you said that. And that's really what this is really all about, too. Trying to make sure that the women of the community also understand. We always talk about mental health, and I always hear women talk about how men need to be more open and communication and things of that nature. It's for our women of the community to also understand when men are being vulnerable, open up and giving you that truth, not holding that against them and weaponizing when you upset or you going through your emotional thing, because when you do that, you shut men down and then they never want to say anything about it again. But I think that was a great point. The comments are coming in, y'all, so we're going to start heating this up a little bit more as we get into the conversation. But I want to, I see Juan P. I know he's driving. I'm going to see if he can unmute himself, introduce himself, and maybe he can take a shot at the question. I want to make sure all the fellas got an opportunity to say something, because I'm not going to say nothing, because the PR team is on me right now and I can't say anything. So let me go ahead and see if Brother Juan. You there, Brother Juan?
Yeah, what's going on? How you doing, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, how y'all doing, man? I'm Juan. I'm not sure what kind of introduction you wanted. But I was invited into this space just, I guess, to provide a different alternative view, I guess we'll say, like that. And like, I love what y'all got going on. So if you could just give me a quick rundown on the question and what you're looking for, like within the answers.
Well, first, I just wanted to ask you, just introduce yourself. Where you from? Are you single? You married? You dating? And then the question is, how do we date today? What does a healthy dating look like in today's environment?
Okay. I'm Juan Patrick, to be exact. I'm about to pull over real quick anyway. Originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. I currently stay in Birmingham, Alabama right now. I'm single at the moment by choice. Got my own specific, I guess you will call it a hiatus that I'm on right now. Basically just to give myself more time to be more in tune with me. Uh, what dating looks like to me is, I guess, it's kind of like when people go into an art museum and like you got some people that go in there and they like look at a Picasso or some abstract and it's like like I get it, and it's like, do you notice the reds and the greens? And then you got people going to museum and they don't know what the hell they looking at. Like so to me, like that's what dating is like right now. Like I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It's not fun. Uh, it's a bunch of I think it's a bunch of misguided views. I think the dating pool is tainted uh, by a bunch of unrealistic people mixed with the realistic. A lot of glass half full people, mixing in with the glass half empty. So I think it's really to me it's kind of it's draining. You know what I mean? But I think it's still worth it because I think there are some amazing and incredibly dope people. They just got to be polished up from all the mud that's being slung right now.
Right on, right on. Very powerful stuff there, my brother. Yeah, so we now going to open this up to everybody now. We got the first, everybody got to speak their piece to the dating. I want to also acknowledge the people that's in the chats from our YouTube channel, our Facebook page. As we open this up, one of the big questions comes up. I see it. I'm putting it on the screen. Somebody put in, I don't know on Facebook. I can't find out who that person put that question, but it's saying, what about finances prior to dating? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to open this up. Each person just unmute yourself. Let's be respectful to each other. But when we talk about dating and we talk about finance prior to dating, I don't know about this one. This might go somewhere because, a lot of questions on this. But I mean, I always hear women say all of these rules and all of this stuff. And I just want to say, but when we talk about money and things like that in dating, I always throw that question out there. Should men hold their wallets for 90 days? You know what I'm saying? And really see, can these women go out and date and court and do all of that stuff without? Because again, it's always an investment on the male side. But what about the women? And they might say different, because I hear a lot of women talking about they always having to do everything. But different parts of the regions. I just want everybody to know we have different folks on here from different parts of these United States. So dating and relationships, when they talk about finances, might be different from here in the Bay Area to somebody in New Orleans, Texas, or New York. As you all know, here in California, it is very, very expensive to date, court, and meet people when you talk about going out spending money. So I don't know. I'm gonna just throw it out there. I'm gonna see where it go. I'm gonna throw my fishing pole out there and let it go. But go ahead. We're gonna open it up. We could talk about the finances prior to dating, and then how do we reconnect with your significant others or the people that you're dating, and then how do we rebuild trust? Those are becoming the top things that we want to talk about in dating. I don't know if there's a lot of trust out there in dating right now, but I'm single as well. I see a lot of stuff, but again, I'm gonna shut up because I've been told not to throw gas on the fire today. But I'm gonna go ahead and open it up to everybody. Go ahead.
I'll go first. So finances prior to dating. I look at the whole person, not just the financial portrait, because the financial portrait does have a couple of other pieces to it. Instead of looking for someone who's rich, I'm looking for someone who is wealthy. And that means emotionally wealthy, spiritually wealthy, and financially sound. Whether you make $60,000 a year or $100,000 a year, it doesn't necessarily matter if the quality of person, if that at their core, if the character is not who I'm looking for. So that's why the finances doesn't necessarily come into play in the beginning part. That someone could potentially have a net worth of $250,000, but be emotionally and spiritually bankrupt. It's not going to get far in the courtship, not with me at least. Or someone can come in with a $60,000 annual income, but has vision, has a dream, and is motivated to see it by any means necessary. That is someone who I would be interested in. That is someone I can grow with, I can build with. And that is so, especially if they're emotionally and spiritually wealthy, we're going to win. So for me, finances is not a determining factor. It's, are you a happy farmer? Do you enjoy what you do? If you don't enjoy what you do, you're not going to enjoy everything else that comes behind it. And I'll let someone else speak.
Latoya, don't be confusing everybody there with those analogies, and you better not talk about that gas station story today.
I will definitely bring up the gas station story because I did not get to finish it.
All right, anybody else jump in there?
Yeah, I think that, talking about finances in dating, I don't think that it should be something that is discussed prior to dating, but it should definitely be a conversation when you know where you're going in the relationship. I know living here in San Francisco, a lot of times, especially for Black women, a lot of Black women in the Bay make more money than the men. And at times, that can cause a conflict in a relationship, and it can cause a bit of insecurity. And so it is something that's important that, should be discussed because, I don't know what the detail or the side is on the men and men. Maybe you can add some insight on that, but a lot of times women are the breadwinner. And a lot of men may not choose to move forward in a relationship. There may be insecurity, but once again, we have to talk about that mutual understanding on like what's important,
I got a question for you, Brittany. I have a question for you. And the question is simply this. If you get married and you make more money than your man, does that give you equal playing field in the house?
I don't believe that it does. I still believe in a man leading a household. I do believe in a man being able to manage the money, being able to help grow the money, being able to have a say and a guiding say in the household. I will not marry a man that I do not believe can guide me or that I place my trust in or can lead me. And it doesn't matter if he makes more money than me, I can be the breadwinner. It's still our money, but he got to know what to do with it. Like he has to be able to guide us forward.
Brittany, I want to know.
That's a politically correct answer.
To the man,
so that's the honest answer, and that's why I'm single. Because
Brittany,
where they at?
Right, I'm right,
That can guide the household, that can guide the families, that can guide a strong woman like me. Where they at?
All right, so let's just be honest here. All y'all doing your high fiving together and doing your go girl power. Let's be honest here. Rich women do not marry down. Show me one millionaire woman besides Bill Gates' wife, because she was just totally distraught.
And Bezos.
She was totally distraught as well.
Beyonce.
Beyonce, all the
Beyonce,
way.
Jay-Z got more money. Jay-Z has more money. Beyonce, cut it out to you. Cut it out.
First.
Cut it out.
Not at first.
And even after he cheated on her, she made a whole album and she stayed with him. So let's table that conversation. My point is
hold on. I gotta stop us right here. I don't want to talk about rich people problems, okay? We know rich folks got money. I'm talking about people. Let's get real. We're talking about right now in our community. I want to hear about Jay-Z.
Well, let's be. Well, here it is, John.
In our community.
Here it is, John. You and I both know if a woman makes $200,000 a year and she's a doctor, she's not dating a trash truck driver that makes $60,000. That is not the general answer here. There might be exceptions to the rule, but there are very, very few exceptions to the rule. And those women never fully respect those men who they date.
I don't know what kind of women you're socializing with, Mr. Shabazz.
The ones on this panel.
Where do you get off talking about what women do? Do you have a coochie? Are you in a woman's mind?
Well, I have
don't
a
think
coochie
so.
It's not effective or not. But I got over 6 inches of pipe. But that's ineffective.
It doesn't matter about your 6 inches, baby. You don't have a breast and you don't have a
coochie. Do with I have a coochie or not. What I'm saying to you is very simple.
Stay in your lane is what I'm saying.
Show right now on women, upper middle class women.
Why are you speaking for women, especially this panel? You know me.
Women date for
I don't know you.
All right, hold on.
Women are
natural
hypergamous.
Let them finish and then you can jump in there, Adrina. I want to make sure people can hear this. Go ahead.
All
y'all
I'm
know
saying is this.
Santana coming with the 360s, six
women,
six figure, all that. Come on,
John. Women are natural hypergamous. The last question I posed on this show, nobody wanted to answer it but Vivian. She was the only one brave enough to answer that question. Remember that question? I'll pose it again since
pose it again. Pose the question again.
Actually, Shanna answered it. Vanessa answered it.
You got two men.
Answered it.
You got two men. You got two men. All things being equal. One makes $150,000 a year. One makes $50,000 a year. Both of them make you feel nice. Both of them are equal. What man do you pick?
So that question was answered by Shanna, it was answered by me, and it was answered by Ms. Bailey. The
Toya,
problem
you didn't
is
say
you
nothing.
didn't like,
Vivian
excuse you, I'm talking, thank you. The problem is you didn't like the answer you got. So since you didn't like the answer, you wanted to dictate how women think. And that's the problem. You can't.
Well, that's not true. You're being dishonest at this point.
Again,
you're being dishonest.
Okay,
you're being dishonest. I never
this.
tried to dictate how anyone thinks.
Let's do this. We pose the question again. We're going to hear from all the ladies on here. What y'all going to pick on this question? Ask the question again.
The question is very simple. You have two men that you are attracted to. All things are equal between these men. There's nothing different about either one of them except one area. One man makes $150,000 a year. The other man makes $50,000 a year. Who are you selecting to be your partner and your husband?
All right, Adrina, who you selected? Come on, unmute yourself.
First, darlings, I'm going to have to speak to Santana when he's realistic. Nobody's the equal same, so I cannot answer to a ridiculous question. They're gonna be different. Nobody on this earth is the same. So because one makes amount of money in this, let me tell you, I have dated rich men and I've dated poor. It is how you treat me. It's how you make me feel. If we have an understanding that we're gonna grow together, we're gonna be ambitious together, and we have our dreams together, honey, I don't give a damn if you're a millionaire. That does not make you better because you make more money, sweetheart.
That's not what I said.
And I don't care what you say, Santana. You cannot, a rich person definitely does not get the scores in saying that he treats me better, he eats me better, he fucks me better than the man that makes the 50,000. If today I want the man that makes 50,000 to eat my pussy well, guess what the 50,000 is gonna do? Because I don't want the 3-minute man that's a millionaire.
Art of deflection. The art of deflection is great.
You gotta answer the question. I want the question answered too.
Art of deflection, is that what you're going to call it today?
Man, are you dating the 50,000 man? I just want to know.
I'm dating the man that makes me feel great inside, baby. I carry my own money, honey. I don't need the man with 150,000. There has to be other qualities to it, and no man is equal. So I'm sorry, I cannot answer Santana's question.
To my question,
but the question
if you
was,
listen to my question, I never said that men were equal. What I said was they equally make you feel the same way.
They can't, is what I'm saying. I just answered you. They can't. Okay. No man can make me feel the same. Just like me saying no woman's gonna make you feel the way that I make you feel. Period. There is no equal woman. If you stand beside me, baby, I'm gonna tell you, she ain't gonna do what I do. Period.
But Adrina, the question is,
not true.
If we was God and we could make two men equal, we just hypothetically thinking, what man are you choosing?
Hypothetical, baby.
50,000 men on the 50,000.
I don't like hypothetical. Hypothetical ain't paying my bills. Hypothetical ain't fucking me. I need realistic shit.
Well, you can
stop
you can pay your
hypothetically
own bills according to you, and a dildo can fuck you. So what difference does it make?
A dildo can't fuck me, baby. A dildo cannot fuck me.
Well, dirty girl, would you
dildo
agree?
Can fuck you, but it cannot fuck me.
Dirty girl, would you agree?
Listen, this is how I feel, period, about the financial situation. Y'all know my background. I'm a hustler at heart, period. Okay, I did time in the penitentiary on some real shit. So to me, we can have money today and not have it tomorrow. What we gonna do about it on the third day? That's how I feel about the situation. It don't matter what the finances are like. It is the vision of the individuals that are partnered together. If you don't see us making it from the crumbs or becoming a rose out the crack in the concrete, then we can't be together. So if you ain't got that mindset or that if you ain't got that visionary mindset for me, I don't give a damn if today you got $1 million and tomorrow you ain't got shit. If you're going to lay in bed all week and then the week after that and the week after that, drowning in your sorrow with your dick between your legs, I can't do shit for you. It's nothing I can do for you. So the finances, being from where I come from, finances don't mean nothing today. It's the heart and the soul of an individual, the determination. How are you going to motivate me? How are we going to motivate and encourage each other? Everything else is a null point. It's a moot point. It makes no sense if we're not looking at the same things, because every day is not going to be the same in a relationship. Every day is not going to be the same. Money changes happen. The economy is so fickle. We don't know what it is, but as long as we in this household together and we know what's going on behind these closed doors and we know what we can do, then we're going to be millionaires. It may not be now, but we're going to manifest it and we're going to work at it together. So finances prior to, if women are only dating men for finances, if men are only dating women to see what the opportunities are for them, that relationship is going to go straight to hell. Okay, we have to look deeper inside one another in order for relationships to work. Stop looking at the shit that don't mean shit. Stop settling for shit that don't mean shit. The more people do that, the more unhappy relationships we are going to be in. We are not going to be happy with one another. Black men and black women, we need to face and understand that we have a lot of shit against us, and the world is it. Okay? And if we don't come together on one accord on some shit, we ain't gonna ever be happy, period. We're not gonna ever show the world who the real power come from if we don't get it together. So it ain't about money. It ain't about how small a bitch is. Get it together. Look inside. And it don't matter. Nothing else is going to matter. Do what we need to do in self first, putting God first, and then everything else will fall in line. Everything else does not matter. And I know people may not feel that I'm talking the truth, but if we keep continually looking at the outside things, I promise you we will never reach the summit.
You better preach,
Well,
Vivian.
I just want to say this. It's a lot of single women still in America, so something ain't connecting right. Please go to www.dirtygirls.com and get some products. I know we increased your revenue by 5% from the last one. But I hear y'all, but there's still a lot of professional, educated, well-off women that are single, and something is happening since women across this country say they're looking for love.
John, I agree.
About the money. What's going on? Why is it not happening?
Wait a minute, John. I agree. There are a lot of single women, especially in the age bracket of 30 to 45, or even if you want to go to 50. I completely agree with you on that. And respectfully, there's also a lot of single men too. So let's not get into a male-female thing.
A lot of undercover. Let me throw that out there. Sorry, Latoya. Go ahead, baby.
Yeah. So the reason why, and Santana, I got mad respect for you, mad love for you. But the reason why the question is why people are agreeing with us female panelists that the question is unrealistic, and why I made the statement that you're trying to dictate how I choose to who I interact with and so forth, is because money means something to you. 6 inches means something to you. All of that means something to you. And like you said, it's for us to work together. It has to be a reciprocation of listening. If you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women on here telling you it's not about the money for us, and you're saying, but money, 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 and money, money, money. We're trying to tell you, for us, for women, it's not about, just like Mr. The gentleman here in the center, forgive me, I forgot your name at the moment. I think Mr. Elder, like he stated earlier, he said for men, initially it's about the looks. And I respect that, because that's what it truly is. He don't care if I make 60,000 or 150,000 for him. If I don't appease him physically, it won't go any further.
Well, that's the man's perspective that you're speaking on. What you just said is how men actually look at it. I know very few women, the average woman, now I won't even say the word average. I will say women look for stability and security. I don't know any woman that wants a man or feels like she will be with a man who cannot take care of her if something happens. I don't know any woman that feels like that. So you say money doesn't matter? Let me say something about money. Money doesn't give you happiness, but it does give you options. And when you have options, you tend to be a lot more happier in life.
May I finish my statement, sir? I appreciate the respect. So just as where looks may not be the first thing for me, or may not be what's going to get you in the door with me, I have to respect that if I am interested in a man, that's what he's going to see. I am most comfortable in leggings and a t-shirt and a hoodie. But now that he's made it clear to me, Mr. Elder has said that looks is important, then maybe I will doll up a tad or two so that I can at least attract that attention. I'm not saying that this, I'm just saying for people who are listening in the general public, but just hearing and receiving what he's saying, whether I agree or disagree with it or not, I have to listen and receive and process that, and then respond to that, not necessarily in with verbiage or with language, but respond to it in how I interact with the opposite sex that I am trying to attract. And the reason why, I'll use my personal situation, which I normally don't like to get into. When I first met my ex-husband, he was fresh out of the Navy and he was trying to transition into civilian life. And he was took a job as a plumbing assistant, an electrical assistant, working at an oil refinery, working at a linen delivery business. I mean, he did whatever he could because that man was serious about being a provider. He didn't care what kind of work he had to do, digging down in nasty toilets, climbing under houses with raccoons and all kind of weird stuff down there. And that is why I chose him. Because I knew that he was motivated. I knew he had drive. I knew I wasn't going to have to, come on, you can do it, too much. I knew he was going to be able to do that to me. I was settled in my career. I made a good amount of money. And then what happened? He went to school. While he was working all those jobs, he was in the Navy as an electrician. It took him about 1.5 years, and he finally got into the IBEW. And he did that apprenticeship with everything he had. And he built a foundation. He planted the seeds of the farm. By that, I mean, he made sure we had housing, we had transportation, we had food. And once he graduated and became a journeyman electrician, he sent me to school because I had goals. I wanted to raise myself up. And I went to school. And now I'm a 6-figure sister. All that other stuff about money, there are times my grandparents were married for over 50 years. And I know John doesn't like to hear about long-term relationships with grandparents. That's John's thing, not mine. But one thing I've learned from that is that there are times when one person is up and the other one's down. And then it switches and it switches and it switches and it switches. But one thing that they always had was communication, trust, and a plan. My grandfather motivated my grandmother motivated my grandfather. And by the time they got from Louisiana to California, there was no need for her to work. And I asked her, I said, why would you go to work? You could have sat at home and been a kept woman. She said, I worked because I didn't want my brain to go to waste. I worked because God put me here on this earth with a purpose. And if I didn't fulfill that purpose, that was between me and God. And when I get to those heavenly gates, I have to answer for that. So it was a blessing to have a husband that was a provider and a protector, but I work because I want to.
All right, you just triggered me. We always trigger each other, but here's the deal. Let me just get this out to community because people are texting me. So if you would like to comment, because Santana, whatever you just said, everybody is texting me. They are coming for you, Santana. Please go to our YouTube channel.
Juan want to add something too. Juan wants to add a comment.
Okay, you could go next, Brittany. Please, everybody out there watching, go to the YouTube channel. Use the live chat function on our YouTube channel if you would like to comment so we can see who you are and we'll get your comment on the screen. I know, Santana, you triggered a bunch of people, so they coming for you, but we'll let y'all get in. If you on our Facebook page, just use the comment under the live video and and we'll make sure that we get your comments up here on the screen. And we'll move it forward. But one of the things, it's not so much that I have a problem with it. Latoya, what it is this, too many times in this dating realm today in 2020, 21, a lot of folks would like to use their grandparents, their parents, 20, 30-year marriage to solidify this is what it looks like. And we can't do that because today's time is totally different. I'm not saying some of the methods and how it is doesn't work. But when my grandparents married and, back in the days versus now, the amount of access, the amount of distractions, the amount of the different things that are in place is just not a realistic setting for us. And I hear a lot of times when you date women, they talk about it. Well, I want to be like how my mom and dad is. And it's a different time. And also a lot of times our grandparents didn't talk about all the trash and the stuff that they deal with. And they stuck there because they didn't have the financial means, right? So now that we have more women who are empowered through economical finances and things of that nature, can be independent, the dynamics change. So I just hate to compare, like y'all don't like me saying the other stuff. I just don't like to compare 20 years, 30 years, 40 years ago to now, because right now we're more than ever the highest divorce rate, the highest infidelity rate, the highest issue of dating in our community. So I just want to put it out there.
John, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Can I borrow that time traveling machine you got, since you know what they had to do? Can I borrow your time traveling machine? Because I want to go back like you did, since you know how different it was. Because to me, that sounds like all an excuse, sweetheart, to be not who you supposed to be.
And I want to hear what Juan has to say. I would like to hear what Juan had to say.
Yeah.
Listen,
Juan had a comment too.
I didn't say I had the answers to everything. All I'm saying is, okay, I know when my grandparents came from Arkansas, okay, the amount of access that they had to telephone and communicating with other people wasn't there, okay? The stuff we have now, you can communicate with people all across the world. You can travel. You can do a lot of things. Not saying that they couldn't do that back then, but it was different. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not here to debate it. I'm just telling you, I want to stick in the future. That's all. Everybody on here, I want to stick in the future. Today, we got a crisis in our Black and brown dating realm, and we want to try to figure out what's the solution. How do we repair? How do we get people connected? That's where I'm at. I want to stay current because we got issues currently, and I'm trying to figure out how we fix it or how do we connect this Black love.
We don't forget the past. We remember our history so we don't repeat it. So we can't ignore the history and say we're just going to look into the future.
Okay.
When you drive around, I know
you got to have me argue with you, Latoya. That's Black folks' problems right now. We got too much history and not enough future, okay? I'm tired. We know all the historic problems. Let's talk about today. Let's find out solutions today. That's what I want to talk about. Brittany, go ahead, Brittany.
Well, Juan has a comment, but I do want to add that, you know, we do need to recognize our history and understand what it is that our grandparents did and how they related to each other, because a lot of us need to break a whole lot of generational curses. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of bad habits, a lot of treatments that have been passed down through generations, a lot of learned behaviors that we've picked up from our parents, our grandparents, our great grandparents that manifest in the relationships that we have today. And so it's important to understand what was done in the past so that we can forget it and move forward and try to establish healthy relationships moving forward, because there are a lot of things that, you know, come up that are learned, a lot of behaviors, abuse, all sorts of abuse, treatments, communication, all that stuff is learned behaviors. Juan, you have something you want to say?
Yeah, I was just letting y'all run with it. But like honestly, and this of course this is my personal opinion. So if somebody gonna shoot me, you know what I mean, that's cool. I ain't bothered. But I forgot the other lady, her story, when she was talking about how she helped. And I love her story. But like she kind of proved the other guy point, because although he might not have been, you know, what he ended up being, it was still some potential there because he was in the Navy. He had did a certain amount of time. He's shown some sort of that he could be able to be in a certain type of hierarchy. My issue with dating today is that when everybody try to, it's like I know a lot of people. It's like it's kind of like people who trying to get married. Like people won't get married, but they don't want a marriage. Like they want the show. They don't want the actual shit. So I know when it comes to a woman, and this is the only thing that I would say I know about a woman, is that a man will, it don't matter if she staying at her mama house, it don't matter if she got 50 roommates, um, it don't matter if she don't have a degree or a diploma to her name. As a man, if you love her enough, somebody would say, if you love that woman, it's your job. And I have no problem with that. I've paid for classes to do different things. I've helped with books and study courses. The only issue I feel like it's a lot of dudes out there like me who all we needed was a little bit of help. That's it. We in the street more time. A lot of us were born into that type of shit, and we didn't really have another option because this was the way of life that we was taught. And if there was more, I feel like if there was more women that would say, you know what, I see where he at, but I think he can be a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like even just to have a conversation, but it's almost like a guarantee that it's not a lot of women. Like I might not give you my backstory why I'm still staying with my mom, or I might not give you a backstory why I got 50 roommates. But as a man and a woman ain't checking for that shit. If you're not showing that you can do a certain level or something, it's like the shit is off balance. When a lot of time a nigga like me always had the drive, always had the tenacity, always had the mentality, always had the hunger and a vision. I just was stuck on the projects in my head. So it's like a lot of times we don't get I don't want to say chances, but I guess we don't get the same respect that y'all get as a woman. because some of us can be like some amazing dudes if we just had y'all ear and a little bit of y'all advice could bring us out the motherfucking dark. And I just think people don't look at it like that. Now it's like, if you nigga, either you got the bag or you don't. But when it comes to a woman, it's like, okay, well, she cute, so I could be a man. I could change her life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's accepted. So I just feel like if we will open up to just understanding a person's situation, woman or man, and just being like the best version of you so you can attract that shit on your route to where you going, I think we'll meet the right people in them certain areas and understand sometimes, you know, we building houses where we supposed to pitch a tent, because there's a bunch of from what I'm hearing, it's a bunch of amazing women on this stage. And let's just say I meet one of y'all. I'm not saying y'all meant to be my wife, but what if one of y'all was just my girlfriend for maybe 6 or 7 months? And y'all help me to be that type of man. So when I meet the next one, that might be my wife. I feel like we let people down before we even give them a chance, and we can really be detrimental in their life, but we looking at the wrong shit a lot of times. But I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
Hey, Juan, I don't know if the women's going to agree with the marathon approach. I don't know if they want to be there for you to pass the baton, but I'm not going to speak for the women. But Brother Darius, I keep hearing everybody asking. They want to hear from you, your perspective. Brother Darius, what you got to say on this, brother?
Man, my fellow Louisiana native guy, man, he definitely said a lot of things that were correct in regards to that double standard. Like, we will look at a woman and be like, you know what? I take her as she is right now. But vice versa, I know for me from past experiences, I remember being at my dad's house at the age of 32 still. And I made more money than a lot of women. Honestly, I made most women wouldn't have made as much money as I had at that time running into them. But I was like, I'm trying to establish some things. I wanted to stay with my father, build up my financial status even more. I was looking into getting a home at that point in time. And I remember going out there dating, and I was honest. I was like, no, I'm staying at home with my dad. And one lady was like, well, I don't think I can do that. You staying at home with your father. I didn't even tell her about my finances or anything like that. But that let me further know right then and there, dang, I got to have a house or my own place just today, not knowing that I'm happy that my father even allowed me to stay at his house at the age of at 32 at that time to help me reach my goal. And so he made a valid point in saying that it kind of seems unfair in essence. And a lot of times for us men that's currently single or we're in that single life, we've really faced that. And that can be some form of detriment down the line to us mentally. So now we coming across another woman once we finally got it together, and we're like, well, you know, you wasn't there when I was going through the rough patches. You weren't there. Why should I cater everything to you? You know, why should I start doing all these things for you when you caught me at this point? Why are you having so much expectations? Where were you then? And so I'm just happy that I actually got out of that mindset and said, I'm gonna just find somebody on my level. You know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna just find somebody on my level. I'm gonna learn this woman. I'm gonna do my best to connect with her, and we're gonna build an empire together. And that's what I did. And that's what I encourage everybody to do, just to do your best to find somebody on your level, because man, it's rough. It's really rough out there. I'm just blessed to have somebody that I found, but it's not easy. From the female perspective, I agree with a lot of you women are saying, don't bash Mr. Shabazz at all, because he's not lying about a lot of things that he's talking about, especially that 150 to 50,000. Yeah, Mr. Shabazz, I can definitely understand where you're going with that. These women on here may not be that way, and they've totally said that loud and clear, which is you women are a diamond in the rough, quite frankly. But there's a lot of women, ladies, there's a lot of women for that man that's right there from New Orleans or from this brother that's actually hosting the show. They may be at that $50,000 end, and they may be treating a woman very well, and they may get just chose over just because the other guy is making more money. That is reality. That is not a false statement that he said at all. And even though I'm not on that end of the spectrum, any longer in life because I built myself this way through God. And I have a woman that encouraged me, like the brother was saying from New Orleans. She encouraged me to get to that. Yesterday, she was like, Darius, we're going to go out. We're going to sell your food at this Florida Classic, and I'm going to be with you. She didn't have to she didn't put a dime in this thing. I did everything, but she just encouraged me to do it. That's what he was asking, and that's what we need more of.
Yes. Yes.
I just want to ask Brittany. So, Brittany, are you turning over the bank account to that man when you find him? You know, because I heard you earlier said that you go. I want to know if you turn over the bank account to that man.
I mean, no. I mean, turn over. I don't even know how that works. But if you were to ask me that right now, I would say no. I mean, you know, I'm assuming that when you get married, like things work differently, but no.
Okay, I just want to. I want
speaking with my single mind. No, I can't speak with a married mind. I don't have that experience.
No, because you said if I found a man, I would make sure that the man lead. I'm gonna make sure if I make more money, I'm gonna turn him over, let him pay the bills and stuff. So I just want to see what you gonna turn the money over. That's all. I just want to ask.
My husband, but if we're talking about husband and wife, then yeah, there's a partnership. But we're talking about boyfriend and girlfriend. No.
We ain't there yet. We talk about this relationship, but we'll get some married folks on there because I seen a comment from Darius Patrick. She said there's a lot of married people creeping that's taking the dating pool. Is that a reality? Is that true, or do y'all think? I mean, I want to hear from y'all because that's a good question from Dahlia.
What was the question, John?
Renata, go ahead and answer that, Renata.
John, what was the question, John?
I'll put it up on the screen.
Oh, John, but before we go there, I want to say something though about old school and our grandparents and things of that nature. So I've been I've been married 20 years, and it's really a drop in the bucket to all the successful marriages that I've saw work, right? So with my grandparents, I mean, I can name at least 10 couples that I visibly saw growing up, or I lived with, or that had some type of influence in how I view marriage, right? So you can never discount that. Like ever, you cannot discount that. I don't care if it's yesteryear, today, tomorrow, you can never discount that because they made it. So it's something inside of that. It's something that holds some type of relevance inside of that. So that's just my personal core belief on that. But I heard something about finances. Brother Juan was talking. I feel you, bro. Cause I was the guy when I got married to my wife, right? She really did make more money than me. I was an apprentice, right? And I'm gonna say most men got a certain way about how they want to go and how they want to be. Like they want to be the leaders. Like I did. I wanted to be the leader and I wanted to be the financial earner. But I knew inside myself that at some point in time, it was going to be my time. So my pay scale kept increasing and increasing and increasing and increasing. And the truth is, we didn't start out with shit. We didn't start out with nothing. She had good credit. Listen, my wife had A1 credit. My credit was ripped. That's honest to God truth. It was ripped. So through the course of time, when everything, the finances changed, right? We had a plan together. And the plan was to build. The plan was, all right, let's go get a house. And then I want to settle down and have a family and have kids and things of that nature. Because the truth is this, even if the man is making the most money, right? He could not be good with the money. Or vice versa. The wife could not be good with the money. I'm just saying, so it can go both ways. You know what I mean? In an ideal situation, you know what I mean? You guys put everything together and you bring it together. And then you have a pool of money. Because the truth is this, at the end of the day, in my marriage, right? If my wife don't bring it through the door, I gotta bring it through the door. If I don't bring it through the door, she got to bring it through the door, or we don't eat, or it don't go how we want it to go. So it's really, to be honest, it's really a collective. It's really a collective effort. You know what I mean? And some bank accounts is bigger than others. But I do, and I do feel you, Santana, about the money, because the money could be an issue with some women and some women it's not. But at the end of the day, with me, it started off with looks, right? But I guarantee you this now, is way more to it than the looks part of it. Because the truth is this, your looks fade away. I was taught that your looks are gonna fade away. Women are not always gonna be 20, 30, whatever they are. Men are not always gonna be in their 20s and 30s. And then after that, what do you have? You gotta have some substance. And I've been through a lot. I'm telling you. But I'm gonna tell you this: black men, it's only a couple of Pam Griers out there. It's only a couple of Pam Griers. It's only a couple of Beyonce's. It's only a couple of them. Women, it's, you know what I mean. It's the same thing. It's the same thing on both sides. Like everybody ain't getting a superstar. Everybody is not getting the successful doctor. Everybody is not getting those things. So we really need to be tangible in our relationships and our application.
Where is the Sugar Mama website at? Now let me stop playing. All right, Vivian, Renata and Vivian, jump in there.
I mean, that's everything, that is absolutely true what he just said, even to the depth of what Juan said. The thing about it is at the end of the day all about substance, but you have to know the substance of yourself too. A lot of people, when we talk about relationships, it may sound cliche to talk about spirituality in a relationship, but it actually is the foundation of making everything come together. If you don't have that sense of self, that sense of who you are for real and true, then it's going to be very difficult for you in this dating world, because there are so many people out here that are lost on both sides, men and women. And a lot of the women that you guys talk about that all are about money, you're attracting that because y'all looking for the baddest bitch in the room. And not only are you looking for the baddest bitch in the room, you're not by yourself. All these other Negroes is looking for the baddest bitch in the room. And so being those type of women who are not true to who they are in their heart, they're going to accept all of those gifts that those men who are looking for the baddest bitch in the room are going to throw at them. And they're going to look at themselves as, I'm the baddest bitch in the room. And if this man don't make this, he can't have this. And if this man don't make that, those are the type of women that y'all are coming across. They are acting in their lower selves. They are not their higher self. So because that is what you're attracted to and that's what you're wanting, that's going to be the consequence of that. Every woman is not like that. A real woman is going to get down and dirty. Y'all see these nails? I will get mud in these nails helping my man. Do you understand me? And these nails don't cost $25, just to know that. And so at the end of the day, it is about making sure that you are dealing with women who are in their higher self. Those are the women that you want to go with. And they can be the baddest bitch in the room. But you got to take heed here and pay attention, not just with this head. Only with this head, not that head. Pay attention with this head. That's how you're going to get ahead with the women that you're looking for. Stop basing what you want. And that's because that's what you're going to get. You're going to get those women who always think about money because that's what they used to. They're spoiled by the actions of those men who are looking for the baddest bitch in the room. Stop doing that.
But Vivian, the reality is,
the reality is what, John?
What is the reality?
Men are visual, okay?
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm just saying, so when you say go
you're
down,
not hearing what I'm saying, baby. I'm a bad bitch. Hold on, let me finish. I'm a bad bitch. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Some men like all of this. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to be everybody's flavor. So at the end of the day, I'm somebody's bad bitch. But I also am a bad bitch in my higher self. So that's a difference is what I'm saying. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong because I like niggas who can pick me up. I don't want no flabby nigga with a belly and titties. I got titties and I got a belly. You understand what I'm saying? So only one of us can have that in this relationship. Period, point blank. You understand? So at the end of the day, deal with people. If they can be as curvaceous as you want, as full-figured as you want, as light-skinned as you want, as chocolate as you want. It doesn't matter. You're going to get what you want. Make sure that that individual is operating in their higher self. And they can be everything and then some for you. That's the difference. And I keep telling y'all, and it goes back to spirituality. Know who you are. Know the standards and requirements for yourself, what you will and will not tolerate. Stop overlooking the red flags. It's not a carnival, baby. It's not a carnival. That bitch is toxic. That nigga is atrocious. It's not a carnival. That's what you have to do. Pay attention. Open your eyes. Stop being blinded by the things that don't matter. At the end of the day, we all have a list of things that we want from somebody else, from a spouse, from a boyfriend, whatever. We all have that. But what is it going to benefit at the end of the day? Don't settle. That's all I'm saying.
I'm dropping some.
Hey, John.
Let me stop. I got to stop.
Hey, John, real quick.
Go ahead.
Hey, John, real quick. There's a lot of good brothers at the homeless shelter, but I don't see a line down there waiting to date nobody.
Most of them have mental issues too, Santana.
Well,
I'm a former case manager, baby. Most of the homeless individuals on the street have mental disabilities like bipolar, schizophrenia,
but Viv,
and nature.
Most people who are out here right now have trauma that they haven't healed from and haven't gotten therapy for either. So that's across the board.
Right.
So I hear what you're saying, sis. And me and you've had several conversations about this offline. You and I both know. We can sit up here and say whatever we want to say about it doesn't matter. It does matter because you know what? The first thing you said when you said about the guy you met, he's attractive and he's a model. You ran down his resume. That's the first thing you did when you talked about this guy you met.
Absolutely.
So wait a minute. So hold on. I've been quiet for a long time, and I know all you ladies want to jump on me. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to, but let me make sense of what I'm trying to say right now. But please, Toya, when you quote me, if anybody quote me, please be emotional, intelligent when you quote me, and please be specific because I'm a great communicator and I say exactly what it is. So therefore, Viv, all I'm saying is this: I'm not knocking anybody's choices or decisions. All I'm simply saying is let's be honest about saying and being straight truthful about what really does matter. If you are a single mother, you do not want a brother who is not able to provide and take up the slack for you.
You can't speak for women, Santana.
I'm not speaking for women. I'm speaking. Okay, Viv.
But that's the honesty of who, though.
Wait, Vivian. Hold on, sis. You ladies on the panel, you might be the exception. I don't doubt that. But let's look at the general rule.
The women that you deal with, honey.
Nah. I'm talking about my sister, you, Renata, my blood sister.
I'm not like that. I'm really not. I didn't say money didn't matter. Money does. Money is a tool that we need in this world. I'm not saying it doesn't matter.
If money don't matter, you're one of the fly chicks I know.
But that doesn't mean anything.
Hold on. If money doesn't matter, you're one of the flyest women I know, and your shit ain't cheap.
No,
cut it out.
No, I'm not saying cheap, baby. What I'm saying is, I didn't say money didn't matter. That's not what I said. What I said is the determination to decide who is going to be a life partner for me. Money is not going to be the number one priority.
All right. Do you know why? Do you know why most marriages don't work?
That's because those people are not built.
Whoa. Answer the question, Viv. Ask the question. Why do most marriages
I know what
not
statistics
work?
say, sweetheart. The statistics say
I want you to say it. I want you to say it.
Statistics say money is the problem. That is not what
I'm dropping the mic.
That is not what I believe. See, I believe different. My faith and my spiritual journey is completely different than most people. That I know. So my perspective is very different, Santana. My perspective. Right. So but still, even with you and I both, my perspective on relationships and what I want in a life partner is based on my personal experience with the hardships that I've had to endure. I didn't have my hand out for no man to do anything for me, to even have a conversation with me. You understand what I'm saying? I let him cut himself off. He canceled his own episodes. Period. I didn't do it. He did it based on his performance. You understand what I'm saying? Period, point blank. And the money was not the issue for me. It was his character. It was the way he approached me. It was the way he tried to test me. I don't play that shit. You understand? It ain't have nothing to do with his bank account because I've never asked any man to show me what his bank account looks like.
And so let me just say this much.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back. Oh, Lord. First of all, Santana, you want a hug, baby? I feel like you have dealt with a lot of pain.
Why you
And if
come?
you haven't, that's cool.
Don't do that. Don't do that,
You just
sister.
said you want
Don't
all
do
the
that,
smoke. I
sister.
was
Don't do
being
that.
nice. I said you
Hold
want
on,
a
sister.
hug.
Don't do
And you
that.
still took it
Sister, you
negative.
came at me and asked me
Okay,
if
I
I
see
had
I
a.
can't talk to Santana.
You came at me and asked me if I had a coochie. That's the first thing out of your mouth. If I had a coochie. Come on, sister. Don't do that. That's
Santana, you don't
disrespectful here.
remember all what you
I don't need
said?
a hug.
Okay.
I don't need a hug. I
Okay.
get plenty of hugs from my girlfriend. I'm fine
Okay.
on that level.
Oh, you
Don't do
have
that.
one?
Make your
Great.
point without making it direct to me, please.
Okay. No problem, sweetie. Sounds like your feelings are hurt. You shouldn't allow
Not at
that.
all. I don't give
Don't allow your feelings to get hurt. Not pointing at anybody. I just want y'all to know. I respect everybody's opinion on here. One, I want to tell you, I respect what you said earlier. I have been in a situation, and this is why when Mr. Santana was talking about the 150,000 versus the 50,000, there's no saying to people. You can have 50,000 and be busting your tail, working extremely hard, trying to be ambitious and show your mate what you're able to do. You just want them to see it and you just want them to believe in it. And I've been in those situations where I've had somebody make 3 times what I made and they made me feel like crap. But I was the one, because I was an entrepreneur, going out there working till 1 o'clock a.m. and getting back up at 4 a.m., just trying to prove that I can be that woman. Now, did it take me years to get to the point that I wanted to get to? Yes, but I still desire that love. I still desire that relationship. And in my mind, I was going to prove that I was worth it. Now, some people think differently, but I am that chick. I do want an ambitious mate. I do want somebody that I can communicate and talk to and laugh to. I can go out, work my hard job, but if I come home to the person who is ambitious, not making 150,000, but shows me that they're willing to put in the work and they make my heart smile, they make me feel like I'm the best queen in the whole wide world, I will love you unconditionally. And together we will make it to the top. So again, Mr. Darius, thank you for acknowledging that there are some queens on this panel, and we do think differently. The thing is, sometimes when you bring queens that are educated and have experienced things and are transparent and being real, you do have some people who choose not to listen. You do. So sometimes I have to take a step back. Instead of pointing the finger all the time, I learn how many fingers are being pointed back at me. What am I doing in this situation? Can I make this situation better? And all I'm saying is money is not always the answer. You don't know how this person is making $150,000. You don't know how they get it. They might be robbing banks. They might be doing things that they're not supposed to do, putting me in danger as their mate, but they make 150,000. Nah, but that 50,000, that person that works at the post office, that's diligent, puts a smile on somebody's face, impacting the community, bruh, let me holler at you because I know you care. And that's all I got to say about it. Sorry, Santana.
Well, when you get so busy, you might not get the love you want, because sometimes when you're a busy man, you can't get the love you want. But at the end of the day, we got to get to the real part of the conversation. We got to heat up. We got to get through this. I know it's getting close to 4 o'clock. People we're going to keep going as long as we can. I know people, we want to be respectful of everybody's time.
Can I just add a little balance? I got my
Go ahead, Latoya.
Thank you. So I think the breakdown and to Vivian to expand, if it's okay, upon your response to Mr. Santana's question as to what is the main reason marriages fail. Statistics do show that finance, communication, and infidelity are the key reasons. It's those 3. Number 1. Number 2, I think what happened was the generalization that all women are going to look at the money of it if everything adds up. I think that's where we got off to the wrong foot, because you can't generalize all women. And thank you, Mr. Darius and Mr. Wise. Mr. Wise, please forgive me for messing up your last name. I'm so sorry, sir. But I think you guys, thank you for elevating and uplifting us as queens and acknowledging that we are of a particular intellect and a particular quality. We appreciate that. But respectfully to Mr. Santana's point, there are some women out there who are that shallow. They exist, and it's probably more of them than us. And I don't know. I don't have the numbers, so don't quote me on that. And I understand what he's saying. I have 4 brothers. They are all married now, but they were single men at one point. And some of the things they would share with me was like, oh my God, like, I don't know where you are finding these chicks, but what is the problem? And it's sad. And even talking to some of my younger cousins who are in their 20s and they're dating and they're trying to find love. And I understand why some of these young girls are like that. We have to be real about why they're looking for that. Our community was dismantled in the 70s with with drugs coming into our communities, and then the crack cocaine epidemic in the 80s, a lot of violence killing off our Black men, or a lot of our Black men being arrested, and a lot of our women being on social services and etc. So we want something different. We don't want to be the chick on Section 8 with writing letters to dude and putting money on his books and that. We don't want that anymore. And we don't want to be the one who's going to help you through college. And then when you get on, you get with some other person that doesn't look like your mother. We're tired of that. So we, as a people, one, we got to stop generalizing. We have to acknowledge that we have different flavors. If you just look at this panel, there are different shades of beautiful brown on this panel, men and women. And if we were all standing up in the same room, we'd probably be different heights, different sizes, come from different backgrounds. And like, we just have to acknowledge how much wealth and beauty it is and richness it is to us when we accept that we are multifaceted beings. There are some diamonds as well as some rubies here. And rubies are even more rare than diamonds for those of you who don't know. So I respect all the different opinions on here. I would like to hear more from Mr. Juan before we go out. But I think that that's why I wanted to add balance, that, you know, Santana is not 100% wrong, but the question posed as a generalization of women, yeah, that was problematic, my love.
Well, I think I'm being villainized, Latoya, because I never said all or every, and I definitely never said the women on this particular panel. I barely said it very clearly. I said that there are exceptions to the rule. So if you ladies feel like you are the exceptions to the rule, I don't know. I've never dated either one of you, so I do not know. I'm speaking from data that I've amassed and people who I speak with and men that are part of my life coaching program. I just want to make that clear. If you're not that woman, then it doesn't apply to you. I'm giving you guys, the question was, why is dating so hard? Is finances an issue? And I brought those points out. I'm not saying Vivian, Latoya, Adrina, Brittany, or Renata. I never said anyone was like that. I spoke very general. So if I throw a rock and hit somebody in the head, Adrina, I'm sorry.
Y'all about to get me in trouble because I'm ready to get crazy in here. But, you know, a couple of things we want to throw in there because we're trying to figure out these relationship issues. You know, a lot of the relationships men feel are very transactional with women. And some women feel like they are transactional relationships. We definitely want to hear that. And I just want to hear what some of the deal breakers are when we talk about this dating, these relationships, and, you know, maybe Darius and Aaron as in marriages or in relationships can kind of just talk about what some of those boundaries are for the folks that's out there dating. But I didn't want to cut Renata off because I know she wanted to say something. But did you want to say something, Renata? Go ahead.
No, you know, I was just listening to everybody. I also wanted to mention, as Aaron said, because the initial question that you originally posed was a little bit different. But I wanted to say, as far as like even with the traditional, you know, relationships, I too have seen a lot. I still see a lot of positive Black marriages, right? So I'm a believer of Black love, regardless of the things that I've dealt with in the past and the people that I've met in my life. I'm still a believer of Black love. My parents celebrated 50 years this year. I have a cousin who initially was going to come on the show, who's they're 6 or 7 years in their marriage, but their marriage is a beautiful thing. My uncle's 52 years in a marriage. I've been surrounded by beautiful Black love, and even the people that I've reached out to that is on this panel, Darius, to come, you know, there's beautiful Black love that I'm surrounded by. So I still believe in it regardless. With the as far as the finance goes, for me, it's not for me. And, like we said, but this is personalized for me. For me, finances is not the most important thing. It's how you manage your finances. Because literally, you could have somebody making $50,000 a year versus somebody making $150,000 living paycheck to paycheck. So because of how their spending habits are and everything else. So for me, it's not all about the finances per se. It's about how you manage it. I can still, even if I made more money than the man that I'm with, he's still my lead. I'm still allowing my husband to lead the house, because a leader also knows how to delegate. So even he makes the most money, he's a good leader. He would delegate knowing that I'm able to manage the money better than he can. So that's my thing. So I'm just speaking overall, just a little bit of summary of what each person was saying. Even with regards to Vivian, we so many times, and she is, so many times when we're wanting something so bad, we tend to overlook those red flags, right? Because we want to see the best in that person, or we're looking at potential. But I had someone tell me once that we marry potential but divorce reality, right? Because the thing is you're looking at this person who's a potential mate because there's things that you look for, the things that you want, and even though that person may not have it, you're trying to, like I saw Candace say, nobody got time to build a person. But sometimes we as women, we tend to look at, we're frowned upon, or we're looked at as gold diggers or whatever else, because if you look at other cultures, and because I know it's us, we're here, but if you look at other cultures and you see them marrying, even when it comes to arranged marriages and things like that, those arranged and things that are being made are based on what those people's finances are, right? But when it comes to us, if we want to marry someone who's a little more I'll say financially stable than us, we're looking at it as we're gold diggers, or we're looking at it like we can't, or we want more. When in actuality, other cultures do that. Other cultures, they don't see anything wrong in seeking a mate that may be a little bit more successful than they are. But for us, it's frowned upon, right? But sorry, I'm gonna pause up for a little second and let somebody else chime in.
Well, I just want to know, because I keep hearing this thrown around the Black community, this traditional stuff, and I'm trying to figure out what is so traditional in America. All this traditional stuff we talk about ain't so traditional for Black folks. So when I hear these traditional relationships and traditionally this, I just don't agree with it. I don't subscribe to it, because I don't think that is Black folk tradition. It is Western civilization, and it is this racist, systemic United States of America that has put these thoughts in our head.
Well, let me say, when I speak on tradition, let me say this. Okay. I know some people do not like to compare a relationship to an employer or to a job, right? Some people say, but for me, I do. But I'm going to explain why. When I speak on tradition, I don't mean as far as, because I get it. Things from the past are so different from now. You have access to people across the board. I was unknowingly dating a man who was in a whole situation meeting online, right? But for me, this is my thing. When you, and I compare a relationship to a job, because when you apply for a job, you go to an employer, right? And the employer is going to have these certain set of skills. There's a certain skill set that you have to at least be qualified for to get the interview, right? But even that employer is going to, once you get on that job, is still going to teach you how to perform that job, teach you what they want when it comes to that job, right? For me, when I speak on tradition, I speak on the old things. I speak on still, the man leading the house. I speak on character, morals. Those are the things. That's what I speak on when I speak on traditional things, because along the way, we have to understand that there's a lot of that stuff that has dissipated, that's no longer here. People have lost that part of tradition. That's the part that I'm meaning. I'm speaking on how people carry themselves. I'm speaking on, like I said, your character. There's a lot of that, and you speak on it a lot, John, on your shows, how these young kids don't have the respect that we had. That's all a part of it. And because they don't have the respect, because things have changed, that's why dating has changed. We don't have respect for women anymore. Men don't have respect for women anymore. Women don't have respect for men anymore. There's different things. So all that plays a part. When I speak on tradition, that's the part I'm speaking on. I'm speaking about, not saying that things were perfect, but I'm speaking on the fact that if you have character and you have, regardless of where you're dating then and now, yeah, we have the access to internet. People could easily date and cheat. But if you have that moral part of you, those characters in part of you, it doesn't matter what influences you have in front of you. You're still going to maintain the person that you are, regardless. So that's what I mean when it comes to the traditional part, the things that you were brought up, the things that you were taught growing up, that respect. That's what I mean on it. I don't mean on all these other things of how people date now. Yeah, I get it. That's what I'm speaking on when it comes to it. So That's all.
We
I'm
got a lot of people in the community that didn't get that upbringing, didn't get that training, and I think that could be a lot of the problems that we're faced with. So how do we educate the community? How do we bring that level of awareness? How do we create dating classes? How do we teach this to our young people in the community? Because obviously it's not happening. There's a big divide, and that's what this conversation is really about, is how do we fix it so that our community can be productive, we can have Black love, and we could lead the community in a way that's very impactful. Just giving the numbers and hearing some of the data that Brittany read out early, seeing the systemic things that's impacting the Black males and Latin males and brown males of these communities with death, incarceration, and different things. We're headed somewhere that's it's a little different. I'm hearing, I talked to some folks today that couldn't make it for the conversation. Certain parts of this country is 20 single women to every single Black man. So like what does this look like? And that's why I was asking earlier, what does it look like? The environment that we in, what's taking place? How do we make the best out of what we have to really empower our community? I think that's where I was going with it, but go ahead. We got a few more minutes before we have to get out of here.
I'd like to elaborate on that there, John, real quick.
Go ahead, King.
What I'm currently doing right now, like you said, how can we fix that in present day? At this very moment, what I'm doing right now is that I'm getting Black couples together, and we're gonna travel and take trips. I was just able to do a successful one out there in Denver, Colorado. It was just me and another Black couple and my lady. But now I'm getting more people into it. I've already amassed 4 Black couples that are willing to go and take a trip, and that's something that we don't see. And in these trips, we're showing each other by action that Black love is real, Black love is powerful, Black love should continuously go on. And that's something that we don't see often. A lot of times I hear couples say, well, we don't have another couple to travel with, or we don't have, somebody that's willing to go. But I'm finding couples that can go are willing to be around total strangers, because we don't know how each other are. But if we don't know how each other are, how will we learn each other? You see what I'm saying? And so now, just by that alone, now we can start branching off and showing other people that, hey, Black love is real. Like Renata said, she doesn't let what she sees or what happens goes on in the world. She's around positive Black love. And so that's now what I'm trying to build up on my end.
All right, that's what's up. Very powerful stuff, and that is a key point, and I'm glad you pointed that out, because it does take all of us here today as well. You're doing that, brother, by leading with your lady, and also making sure that we talk to the young brothers, to really talk to them and let them know that it's okay to be in a relationship. It's okay to have that lady that you are vulnerable with and you willing to work with, because I think sometimes we don't see it in our community. Very powerful stuff. Brother Juan, I see you off the mic. You want to say something? Jump in there, brother.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. I think another way, and by the way, what you said, what you just said, man. Like I think that's something that I think it needs to be more mass packaged, because I definitely learned over the course of my life that exposure and experience is the only thing that's gonna change anything, if that makes sense. But I think the one thing we need to start involving in our conversations, and I said a little bit about it earlier, was understand like maybe that person you with is not supposed to be your everything. Like I said, sometimes I've learned that we build houses where we only supposed to pitch tents. Like we supposed to get something from that person for that season. We supposed to appreciate what they brought to our life. And if it don't work out, guess what? You can move on with your romantic experiences. But why you getting rid of a person that gave you so much gold? I think we get rid of a lot of people that's like this so important in our lives based on our feelings. I feel like as a man, because I can't speak on a woman, our ego gets so deep and like shit that don't even matter, like because now you worrying about who else gonna date this woman. Or if I couldn't conquer this situation, instead of looking at it like it was a wonderful blessing that you was able to be exposed to, she gave you an amazing experience. You know what I mean? And if y'all can't be, plutonic after that, and that's cool, but don't hate that person, because you might be able to call if something go wrong. Or I feel like when you got so much hate, like you forget all the gems they gave you. You know what I mean? And you don't keep them as like a footnote in your life to, go back and revert to. But I definitely think we need to start giving that a lot more thought and working on a package, and understanding that I forgot who said it earlier, but I think it was Vivian, but I think, we all come in different shapes and sizes. We all come in, in different, we all come in different forms. Like, I know what I look like. I know a lot of times I make an amazing amount of money now, but I know when I go out, I know I got permanent gold teeth and I got tattooed teardrops and shit. But like, it was a part of my life that I needed that to become the person that I am now and the person that I'm becoming. So I think if we look more into the conversations and stop rushing shit. Like, everything got to be right now. Like, you got to get married within the next 2 years. Cause if you don't do that, it's about to be over with. You know what I mean? Like, just, it's like, it's so fucking, all this shit is like so express, that it's fucking us over. Cause we don't get a chance to like have that good home cooked feel, you know what I mean? Instead of the microwave feel, like when it comes to relationship.
Now, Watt, I gotta say something about that, and I know women don't like men to guess their age, but I'm thinking that everybody's here 35 plus, right? But we talk about women, when you get to 35 plus, they don't got time for that. Okay, they don't want to see date, the season, and all of that, right? Because they on that time clock. So we gotta be realistic too, right? I'm just saying, I'm single. I hear these conversations. Listen, I'm in these digital streets. I keep up what's going on, but I'm just asking y'all the real. So listen, when these women go out on these dates and stuff, they feel like they wasting time, right? Because they feel like, hey, I'm 45, I'm 48, I ain't got time to be out here dating for 2 years and starting all over, right? How do we fix that, right? Because that's a big issue. You up against that time clock for a lot of these women. You know what I mean? And then the other thing is, you get what I mean when you're talking about people, coming off of these situations and being open to it and being cool. I think a lot of times, that's kind of skewed too when we talk about the day room. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. It's a lot to unpack, on there. But I mean, I seen Candace in the comments earlier say, I don't have time to build a person up. But that's the same thing when you talk about if you dating for a person, you get on and it don't work out. But I think also, a lot of times in the community, we are rushing, you know what I mean? And a lot of times it comes from our counterparts, right? Because most men ain't rushing to be exclusive. Most men ain't rushing to be committed yet. We more willing to take that time just because as men, that's who we are. But
no,
we dealing with the women,
that's an excuse.
They want to hurry up and be exclusive and be in a relationship. No. Go ahead, Adrina.
No. I'll go ahead, Adrina. I'm gonna let you go. Then I'm gonna speak.
Unmute yourself, Adrina.
Yeah, Adrina, go ahead. Unmute yourself, Adrina.
Listen, I'm not coming for Santana, but I just wanted John for you to realize, didn't you just see us say, don't box us? We just said that. John, you're not listening. You're not listening.
I'm talking from real life experiences. Now,
that's what we just said.
I appreciate that. John. Hold on. Okay, wait. I appreciate
the law of attraction. It's the law of attraction. Hold on. The law of attraction. And that's what you're attracting.
Hold on.
You're attracting.
No, hold on. We're not gonna play that BS, right? We're not gonna play BS. We're gonna call it what it is. And I'm not directing this to nobody on this panel. We talk about the massive women, and we out here dating, and we out here with these men. When we out here, I'm telling you, I know the conversations of these women. So y'all ain't finna sit here and just play with me and say that it don't happen.
Okay? Playing with you.
No, we're not saying it doesn't happen, but you can't put that on the same.
Listen, I'm not pointing to nobody on here, but I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm a single man. I know I've been on there dating online, offline. These women is not talking like y'all talking. So I'm gonna get that to y'all, but don't sit here for the masses and play this game like it ain't real. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of these women out here is in fantasy land. Okay, y'all out here in fantasy land.
Y'all too.
A lot of the problem. Okay, and we're not gonna play that game and say, and I'm not speaking to y'all, but the majority of these women out here, they don't got time for it. I listen to these conversations. I'm in these rooms. I'm on this social media, so I know what these women is talking.
Well, where they at? Put them on the panel with us, then. Because you know so many, my nigga. Since you know so many of these bitches, put them on the panel.
Right.
Please, since y'all know so many, I'm gonna start talking about. Don't just get the queen's perspective.
Hey, Viv.
Because we are fucking queens. Hey, don't just get the queens. Let's get some of these presents on here that you speak of, Doth King, John.
Hey, Viv.
Shit.
Hey, sis.
Right.
Can I be honest with you, sis? The women that we speak of would not come onto a show like this. You know why? they don't want to get exposed.
But this the thing. But they should, because those type of women that y'all talking about are the bitches that think they know everything and that they are the ones that can provide everything a man needs. These are the type of women that you are discussing. These are not us. So those women, I promise you, and I know a couple. How about for part 3? I put them on here since y'all know. So I know them too. I know them too. Since y'all know them,
those are the women.
Put them on here. Bring them
here. The dirty.
I agree with you, Vivian. There is some truth to what John is saying, and I'm gonna tell you why. And two reasons why there is some truth. John, don't tell nobody I said I agree with you. But number one, there, from a man's perspective, and I learned this in the last couple of months. Men put a time clock on us, so they say when you hit 40, it's over for you. I forgot the name. His name is I think Kevin Black or something like that.
Kevin Samuels?
No, not Kevin Samuels. No. Somebody, Mr. Black, maybe Jason Black. That's his name, Jason Black. I ain't got time to break down Mr. Samuels and all his insecurities. But Jason Black, he says that by the time you reach 40, you're over with. You're done. It's over for you. Blah, 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 blah. That's his perspective, right? Because see, now us women, in this day and age, to your point, John, we are education and career driven. We're not, our grandma and great grandma may have went to college to try to land a good husband, to be a good provider, because there was only certain jobs that she could or could not get. So we get that. However, that's not our perspective. There are still men in my age group, your age, you know what I mean? Our age group, there are still men 38, 40, 50 who are in this same arena for this exact same reason, because they may be mentally still at 28 and a half. So when they get at 38, they're 28 and a half. So for them, they want that 28 and a half. That was probably their prime. They was the NIGGA at that particular point in time. They was the man. They was, popping in these streets. And so they're stuck there. But we're not. We're constantly evolving, and you got to evolve with us, number one. But number two, to your point, John, as well, there are some women who are, who are stuck on stupid to a certain degree. And it's not their fault 100%. Some of our parents have raised us to be their permanent companions. Oh, girl, you don't need a man. Oh, don't worry about him. Just get the baby, get on child support, and you can stay with me, and we're going to be cool. I'm not saying all women, not at all. I'm not generalizing, but I'm just saying this happens in our community. I know at least 4 people personally who have done this to their daughters, and their daughters become a reflection of them. They're unhappy, they're unhealthy, and they're unmotivated. And then the mother lives a life with a companion because she wasn't able to keep the daddy in her life. So she made the child her permanent companion. She wasn't able to keep the daddy in her life. So she made her son her permanent companion. Oh, you don't need her. Forget her. Don't pay. You don't pay no child support. Just let her figure it out on her own, or pay the child support, but don't help raise that child. It's happening on both ends. So there is some truth to what John is saying. I wouldn't say nobody on this panel subscribes to that or is a member of that club. But if we're being realistic, and like I said earlier, there's different shades, facets, colors, types of people. They do exist. But to Vivian's point, it's what you attract.
And I'm not denying anything that none of the men are saying, because I've had my own experiences with these fool out ass niggas. Okay, so I definitely am not denying what you guys are saying. But what I'm saying is, let's bring these females that you guys are experiencing so much of to the forefront. I know a lot of people, okay? And I know a lot of these women that you guys are talking about. I can't relate to any of those, even when I was in my 20s, I can relate to those fools. I've always been different. I'm different. So I just can't relate to that. But I know women like this. You understand what I'm saying? All I'm saying is bring them to the table so they can speak up for themselves. I cannot relate to the foolery. I can't relate to it. So bring them on and we can all have a conversation, and maybe we can enlighten them and help them to be able to change. Because every one of us on this panel has a sphere of influence. And just because we are where we are in our higher selves, operating in the facet that we do, they can also be influenced by us. And so if they're influenced, they have a sphere of influence, and they can so on and so forth, help other people and be able to see the perspective in a different light on how to operate in their higher selves. So that's what this is really about at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? We still, because I mean, at the end of the day, it still kind of seems like the generalizations that we're using. That's why I always say me, I use me and I. I know I've had my experiences with men, but I know one thing. I don't point the finger at every last man and say that y'all are all the same. I don't do that. I give each person an opportunity. I give each person about this much benefit of the doubt. You understand what I'm saying? So everybody has an opportunity with me. I don't just, like I say, I don't just cut them off immediately. But I still don't have a generalized view of men. I know it's a lot of bullshit artists out there. I know it is. I've experienced a lot, but I don't say all y'all are men this or men that. You know what I'm saying? So just the generalizations is what I wish you guys would just kind of tamper down a little bit on, because like I said, once again, it is the law.
Will personally
it is
go
the
to Magic
law.
City and recruit the Magic City girls, the ladies that's walking on the streets of the night.
It is the law of attraction. You will get what you give. And even though you may not say it out loud, the energy and the vibrations that you put into the universe will manifest. Okay? Just to know that.
Go ahead, Adrina.
No, I was just agreeing with Vivian. I'm a big believer on a manifestation, and the energy you put out, you will attract. So I do agree with her on that. At this point in time, we're all adults, we're grown, we know what we want. And at this point in time, I just feel like we've gone through different experiences. Sometimes you got to understand people are raised different. What their parents went through revolves around what they may be experiencing. Everybody has a different journey. So as a sapiosexual, I really believe it's important to listen to people, hear what their desires are, and give it an opportunity to decide, is that the route you want to go? Everybody's going to bring some type of shit to the table. At this point in time in my life, I'm speaking for me, I'm just dating on the I would say the perspective of whose shit do I want to deal with? I'm not perfect. They're not perfect. But if we can, I would say, link on the ideas of growth together, then we can grow together and be I would say a power couple together. That's what I desire. So I just want to take this time to apologize to anybody if I offended anybody today. That was not my intentions. My intentions are solely so that we can grow together. So Santana, I respect what you had to say. John, I respect what you had to say.
I'm not accepting your apology. I'm not accepting.
Listen, I'm not a man, so I
knew my name was
on y'all
get
end.
mentioned in that shit one way or the other. I knew my name was gonna get mentioned in that shit. So
John, Santana, I just feel so bad for you. You are so sensitive.
What the fuck you mean you feel bad for me? I'm a grown ass man.
You're so
You gotta feel bad for me. You gotta feel bad for me.
I'm gonna send you a virtual hug. I'm gonna send you a virtual hug.
I'm not sensitive at all. Actually, because you don't really know me. You don't really know me that well, but people like Renata.
I don't. That's why I'm sending you hugs.
I'm not sensitive at all. I just met your energy with the same energy you brought to me. That's all I did. So you asked me if I had a coochie. My response was, "No, I got over 6 inches of pipe." So
the man that says he wants all the smoke.
Disrespectful to you either. But
I didn't take it disrespectful.
I think because you don't know me and I don't know you very well, and this is a panel that we just kind of got off to a situation where I think your energy and my energy just got off to a bad start. I think if you and I sat down and had a conversation,
I didn't feel it was bad.
I think it was for me. It was because I didn't like the shit, to be honest with you. And it's not has nothing to do with sensitivity. It has everything to do with me respecting you as a woman, as a Black woman, because I respect Black women. So
you do.
Honestly and truly, with all due respect to you, there's no apology needed. There's no need to feel sorry. It's a panel. We all grown. It's a discussion. We have disagreements. We have understandings. And at the end of the day, I think if you and I actually sat down and you got to know me and I got to know you on a general scale, on the basis of where do we meet, I think I would like you, and I think you would probably like me as well. As people,
I like you now, sweetie. I don't need to meet you. I think you're a great person. We just have different perspectives. Just like you said, you thought we got off to a bad start.
I'm insecure and my feelings is hurt and I'm very emotional. So I'm gonna take all of it.
No, but Adrina, I like your viewpoints. However, if I don't agree with, I still like your viewpoints and I respect them. But I just think that here on the show, I think that you guys are taking this whole generalization thing a little too far. This is a general topic and it's a general show, and we're having a general conversation. So there's gonna be a lot of general comments made. It doesn't mean it's directed at anyone on this panel. And I think what we have to do and what we take from this, especially the men on this panel, men and the men that are listening, John, we need to encourage our men to understand one thing. They don't need to chase women, chase their money, chase your purpose. And then you can give unto your family and you can provide for your family and you can give your family understanding. And that's the problem that men, we don't do that. We don't take care of ourselves first. We try to depend on the women and other people to take care of us. Well, those are men who used to their mothers taking care of them. And Viv, those are the men you talk about that you can't stand. The bitch made men, Viv, that you talk about. The ones that depend on women to take care of
beta males. You talk about beta males, sit back, chat.
I'm talking about beta males. Exactly. I fully believe that before a man decides to date or marry a woman, he need to have his shit together, period. All this shit about building together and building a bear, that's a bunch of bullshit in today's society. And let me tell you why it's bullshit. Because every single woman on this panel is probably making well over close to 6 figures and doing well for themselves. So if there's an understanding that there's not a need for a man, there's no respect for nothing that you don't need. So when women say, I don't need a man to give me money, I don't need a man for this, if you don't need something, there's a lack of respect for it. So this is another issue that we have here that we didn't touch on today. But those are just some of my viewpoints. I got a problem with these bum ass dudes out here who don't work, who can't be leaders, who don't have proper skills to pick women. I got a problem with these bum ass Negroes out here. I really do. I'm really on your side, Adrina. Really, I am. I'm just misunderstood.
Hey, can I
my brother Mark is out there.
His point?
My brother Mark is out there watching. Mark, we got to get you on. We got to have a part 3 because the woman was giving you all the smoke. They want to know what you was talking about when you said trick women. I know you couldn't make it today because of work, but we're going to have part 3. We got to schedule it with you so you can get on here and answer those questions because it is real. But y'all, it's 4:30.
And Juan had something to say.
I want to hear.
Because I know Brittany got to get out of here. We over 30 minutes, but we'll go a couple more minutes, and I'm going to give everybody opportunity to leave some closing words because I think this is going to lead into a part 3. And, this conversation could go on. Anytime we had these conversations, they can go on and on and on and on. I still think with some really great highlighted points out there. But all those women who subscribe to that, please go to dirtygirlsstk.com because it's a lot of y'all. And for the brothers,
and you might need one of those pocket pussies I sell too. You might want to get one of those yourself.
I will definitely order one. Okay, I'm hitting the road. I need one.
Yes, make sure you do get 2 because you'll probably wear the first one out.
With that being said, we gonna go. This is why I love this. This is too much. But anyway, good stuff, Santana and Adrina. That's what it's all about. It's no personal nothing. It's just conversation. But again, this has been real. I mean, we got to keep having these conversations. But I really think the point that we really, we really want to make those connections, and that's what we're trying to do here at both sides of the conversation. And I don't care about that. We need some money. I'm taking the money. Where is the cougars and the and the sugar babies and sugar mamas at? We need money. I'll take the money. I don't care. We take the money. But anyway, back to the final stuff before we get out of here, because I didn't hear y'all talk about what makes or breaks y'all roles. What's y'all deal breakers just for community out there, for the brothers that may be looking for great, phenomenal women like you all? Some of y'all deal breakers, because I think sometimes men in the community, we don't get to really have that communication with women. So as we're trying to help men come together, y'all heard Santana, first get your money together before you start taking these lovely ladies out. Even though they say they don't care if you have money or not, we're going to put that to the test. I'm going to see if we can set up some kind of date thing and send a bunch of guys with no money and see if we're going to get some dates with these women. But
I don't date, so you won't get a date with me, but I want to hear Mr. Juan. Because
hold on a second. Hold on before we got here. But 3 things, okay? We want to talk about And that's one of the things that we think for the brothers, because we speaking to the brothers, getting your finances in order. I heard earlier people talking about therapy. I think therapy is very important. We need more of our Black males to go out and seek mental health treatment. I seen the Jesus thing in there. I'm not 100% subscribed on it, but I think spirituality or whatever you believe in is a part of it.
I didn't say Jesus.
Not you. Somebody in the comments said Jesus. They were talking about church, Jesus, and therapy. But I'm gonna just tell y'all, I'm not gonna go there because I can't even say that. But I just think the mental health part is something real. And I really commend all of the women on here who do the work and people that are watching. And it's unfortunate, but in our community, our women seek the mental health therapy. They have the sisterhood trips. They talk and communicate. Whereas men, we don't always have that. And, barbershop talk ain't the shit that we really need sometimes. Sometimes it is good, powerful conversations that happen in the barbershop. But sometimes in the barbershop, it's a lot of BS that we don't need to hear. So we definitely want to encourage, mental health, relationship, dating. I said it last show. I really think that in the Black community, we should really, as we're dating, really seek dating and relationship therapists. And I think a lot of times, because we could really find out a little bit more on kind of what we're dealing, because a lot of men aren't equipped to deal with those conversations and how to date. And I think dating, we should incorporate therapy and things of that nature. I think it's important. But with that being said, we'll take a couple more minutes. I want to hear for the women, what are some of the deal breakers? Just for some of the fellas to see, like, as some of our single women on here, what are y'all really looking for? What are some of the deal breakers so that our brothers out here get a good view of what our sisters that are single with six figures, who don't care if you have money, really looking for?
Well, I thought we were going to hear. I would like to, before that, hear what Juan had to say off of what Santana said. If you would please let him do that, because I really wanted to get his viewpoint.
Go ahead, brother. I missed it. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. And I want when he said that, I wanted to make sure I was clear on what I was stating. And I'm not, because I do agree with you about the bum ass nigga thing. I'm 100% in agreement. What I was speaking of, and I seen a couple comments, was like, yeah, I seen it. I'm not building no guy. It's not what the fuck I'm talking about. What I was referring to, and I want everybody to understand this, when I was doing other stuff in my life, I was far from broke. I just didn't know what to do with that money. I was following my father did, which he got 3 life sentences. He got 3 LWOPs, life without the eligibility. So I knew how to work in the streets. But like even my vocabulary, or me watching a couple hours of TED Talks every other day, or me, right now I think I've read The Spook Who Sat by the Door probably like 5 times. Not Think and Grow Rich, the one that originally came from The Richest Man in Babylon, stuff like this. I learned these things from a woman. So this is what I mean, like having an eclectic palate. Like I didn't know how to chill a wine glass, So when I speak of things, it's not necessarily material. Like it's the experience and exposure that I was speaking of as far as helping a man. So I didn't want anybody to think I was asking you to, bring a bum off somebody's couch. But yeah, y'all go ahead though.
All right. Well, I hear you. Great point. I mean, dating these type of phenomenal women in here, these are type of learned experiences that you'll get, how to chill a wine cup, how to set a table. And Vivian will go get in the mud with you and help you get out of there. And the type of good women that we're looking for in the community.
Hey, John, they can always come
sarcasm. Hold on. First of all, let me say this. Your sarcasm. Hold on. Let me say something. Your sarcasm is not pleasing at all, John. Your sarcasm. When you want to make this. Listen, I'm about to be real with you. I'm 100.
No, baby.
Displeasing. You understand what I'm saying? This is supposed to be something that we're talking about serious, because we're trying to have a message to the community. Your sarcasm ain't shit. And I don't appreciate it. Let me finish. I do not appreciate it. I don't appreciate it, because at the end of the day, this is some real ass shit we're talking about. And I drove all the way from Dallas today to get here to be on this panel, because I said my word is my bond. And I'm that type of bitch. You damn right I am. I will get down and dirty in the mud with a nigga that get down and dirty in the mud with me. And your sarcasm is not pleasing, and I don't appreciate it. And I'm telling you that this is some real ass shit. You got me coming on here and trying to be real on some shit. I need you to be real on your shit too. You want to be in a real relationship, be a real nigga. That's what I'm talking about. Don't come at people like that, period. I am not pleased with this shit.
So Vivian, my sarcasm wasn't to be funny. It was the truth. It was basically saying, because brothers say they don't have women out.
It's not the truth.
Hold on. Let me speak my piece. Let me speak my piece. So let me speak my piece, because a lot of brothers out here say that there's not women who willing to go there and be a part of that, going in there, working and grinding with them. So what I was saying was, fellas, get you a woman like Vivian that want to get in the mud with you, grind with you. That's what I was saying. So that really wasn't sarcasm. So if you took it that way, that's not what it was. But I hear you. But I don't know who muted her, but unmute her.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Vivian, you're muted.
What'd you say, Brittany?
I was telling Vivian she was muted. We couldn't hear what she was saying.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was talking to somebody else that was trying to calm me down. This is how I am, a very passionate person about things that I do. And how people accept and receive it is how you accept and receive it. I do not play about the realities of people's life because of the things I have been through. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sarcasm is not the table discussion here. And I do not appreciate. I've been letting it go this whole entire time listening to this sarcastic ass bullshit. We're not at a comedy club. You understand what I'm saying? And we can have our own little, things that we can say to make this whole conversation not so heavy and intense. But the sarcasm, we need to keep out of it. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep it real, 1,000%. We all have taken, John, I hear what you're saying. But at the end of the day, you want some real, I am the real. Do you understand me? I am the real. I can't speak for nobody else. And nobody else may not say how they feel on the real, but I am the real. Do you understand? So like I said, I feel about your sarcastic ass little comments, because they were, and you can say what you want to say. I see a lot, honey. And so trust and believe, I'm just not with it. I hear what you're saying, but I'm telling you, I'm not with it. Okay. We have taken the time out to sit here and talk about some serious heart of the matter traumas, like Santana say. There are traumas on this panel that we've had to get over, and sarcasm is not the place for it.
So if you feel like it was offensive, I apologize. It really wasn't. But again, if that's how you feel, I can't change the way you feel. But we always go keep it real. It is a place to be safe, to have fun, and be real. So if you took it any other way, I apologize. But it wasn't like that. It was actually a good thing. But if you took it that way, I understand why. But we're always going to keep it real. It's going to be always a fun-filled show. And again, it's not to be here to put anybody down or anything like that. But I hear you. I respect you. It's all love. So again, it's not to be funny. It's also to be real, because these are some of the questions that brothers have. And that's just really what it is, because a lot of brothers feel that it's not those type of women in the community. And that was really a great positive shot to what you were saying. But I hear you. Anybody else want to say anything?
Yeah, I do. I definitely want to say something.
Go ahead.
I want to address brother Juan. You was talking about how like you put in all the work and like chicks don't give you chances. And you know what I mean? They sort of just write you off. The truth is, bro, you really dodging a bullet. I'm telling you that like that's how you got to really look at it. So when I was younger, my number, I heard the ratio was 20-1 now. When I was younger, it was like 10-1. I used to tell myself, man, she only 10%. Like, and I'll go get the next one. I wouldn't even waste my time. I wouldn't even waste my time on it. As far as like, I heard you say something. In my mind, I call it being cultured. Like, and I wouldn't say I was the most cultured cat out there, right? For real. But the truth is, my wife is. So that's like really an attraction to me. You know what I mean? It's like certain times I really just straight up ask her real questions where I'm like in dunce mode. Well, I just don't know. And I'm feeling out of place. But she'll answer it because it's like I lack that and she has that. So yeah, man, I wouldn't really trip on, not getting the opportunity, because they wasn't really meant for you anyway. Trust me, bro. You really dodging the bullet. And the last thing I really want to say is that as far as you said the things that I know you asked women this though, but just as a man personally, you can't be no more confident than I am in myself. Like I've always been a very, very confident person in myself. And I'll say this as far as a deal breaker to me for a woman, like if I felt like an inkling that you didn't believe in me, I don't want nothing to do with you. And that's just real. No man, cause I could be alone and just believe in me by myself, but I want somebody to want to take me to the next level, and I want to be able to take her to the next level. And you know, that's why I sort of work with me and my wife a lot of it, because I like really support her in everything. And you know, you got to understand, individuals have goals prior to marriage. You know what I mean? We had individual goals. Some of those things I had to put on the back burner, some of them I didn't, but she had individual goals. And you just sharing that, man. But I ain't worried about you, bro. Cause I ain't worried about you like that, because I know it's gonna come, and when it comes, it's gonna be good and it's gonna be right for you. You know, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Real talk, real talk, real talk. Anybody else wanted to jump in there before we start wrapping this thing up?
You asked a question about deal breakers. For me, I need a happy farmer. You have to want to motivate me. Motivate yourself first and motivate me. If you are not a happy farmer, or if you are unhappy with being a provider or a protector, that's a deal breaker for me. Number 2, I need a full service 24-hour gas station. I need you emotionally available. I need you spiritually available to me. I need you physically available to me. And then 2 more things. A deal breaker is someone who has they've committed violence against women in their past or children. 0 tolerance policy for that. And then finally, anyone who's hung up on gender roles. One of the things that worked really well in my previous relationship was that, and I hate to admit this, but he was a better cook than I. So whoever got home first cooked. It wasn't about, oh, you're the female. We were both working. We were both bringing in, you know, the same amount of money. Him a little higher sometimes. Like I said, it balanced itself out. We didn't keep score, so I can't really give you the accuracy of the finance, but we balanced each other out well. I feel like I cleaned better and organized better. When it came to, I was more of a nurturer in terms of parenting, and he was more of a nature. So I'm not big on gender roles. You have to be flexible and fluid with that. And that would be a deal breaker for me if you were stuck and hung up on that.
The gas station story is going to have to wait till part 3. Anybody else want to say anything before we give our last words? We try to wrap this up. Adrina, Santana, Darius, y'all want to say anything before we wrap up?
Hey, I just want to say, listen, once again, great show, great panel, great people. I would like to have a question for Latoya offline. If your man ain't making no money, how can he be a provider? So if he makes a whole lot less money, I'm just curious, but I hear what you're saying, you know, and I pray whatever man you meet, I hope if he doesn't make as much as you, he's able to provide, because if not, he's just assisting you. I don't have any deal breakers with anybody I'm with. I really don't, because if you're going to be what I want you to be, or you're not going to be what I want you to be, and you're going to be what I need you to be in my life. And that's where we have to be able to pick and make sure that we're able to decipher who is for us and who's not for us. Because once you get to be a certain age, I'm over 40, just over 40, and I refuse to be with anybody who I have to build up. And I don't want anybody to be with me who wants to build me up. So, Brother Juan, I just want to tell you, man, brother, I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your candidness, Brother Juan. Man, you said some real stuff. And I just want to say that, you know, I remember those days when I was in a position where I wasn't where I was. And I just want to say, man, I really applaud you, man, for your efforts and just being honest and candid about it. And, man, if there's anything I can do for you, you can definitely, I'll shoot you my number after the show. And I just like to bond with you as a brother so we can build a relationship. I mean, you ever come to New York or Houston and I'm around, man, I'd love to take you out, brother. And how we can bond as men and just
how we can hold each other accountable as men and be better as men. Because there's some things you can hold me accountable for, things you can teach me and where you at, and vice versa, man. I think that's how we grow, man. So I just want to say, man, I appreciate you, brother.
That was real deep. That's good, brother bonding right there. Very powerful stuff. Anybody else before we start wrapping up and giving everybody final words? Anybody else want to say anything?
I just want to say real quick, number one, happy Thanksgiving, early Thanksgiving to everybody. Number two, thank y'all for y'all's energy, regardless of how things went today. It was everything that I needed at this moment in time. So thank you so much for y'all's energy and y'all's time. It was really awesome. 2 hours passed by so fast. I was like, wait, we just got started.
You cut out, Adrina.
Yeah, you went mute.
I was just saying, can we please have part 3, 4, and 5? Even if I'm not a panelist, I promise I'll be on here supporting it. I love what y'all are doing. Y'all are doing so much for the community, for us. And ultimately, there's not a lot of people out here doing things for us. So thank you for taking the time and the energy to put things out there for us to be better. We're all growing. No matter what, we all have a journey that we're on. So thank y'all for the opportunity and sowing into my soul. All right, y'all have a happy holiday.
And thank you very much for coming out here. For y'all to know, Adrina's skate sister, she came out, flew all the way from Houston to come out here with both sides of the conversation for our skate event. And we just want to acknowledge that and appreciate you for coming out, hanging out. I was able to meet you in person. Phenomenal woman. And we enjoyed your company, and we're looking forward to connecting and coming down there and do some stuff with you all as well. Is just happy to have you here. When we do part 3, you're more than welcome to come back. We love your perspective.
Yeah, and this is my final say, and then I'll be out too. So as far as like we're saying, build a person. For me, like you said, all of us on this panel is over 35. And although the older we get, the more set in our ways we are, right? And so, like you said, we have to understand and realize and recognize what is it that we want to deal with when it comes to that other person. I go back again to y'all. I keep saying, that's why I always say about as far as to me, a relationship is like a job, an employer. It's not for me. It's not about building a person, but I do feel the importance of what basic values that you look for in a person. That's that skill set that an individual has when it comes to an employer. But as far as understanding or knowing if that person can perform the job, I can't expect the person that I meet to know to just because he's been in relationships beforehand. I can't expect him to know how to treat me, right? There's the basics. There's the respect thing. There's the values. But as far as the things that I like, the things that are about me that I like, the things that I look for in my mate, I think it's important that I share that with that person, right? And if they can't meet me, if they don't meet me where I am when it comes to the things that I'm looking for in my mate, then that's obviously not that person for me. So it's not for me about building a person, but I do feel it's important that you teach that person what it is that you want in a relationship, how it is, what it is that you look for. And if they can't provide those things, then to me, it's like an employer. They need to go. But I appreciate everyone's opinion on. I love today's show. This is my first time. I'm typically in the background, but I enjoyed today's segment. And like Adrina said, if there's a part 3, 4, 5, even if I'm not on it, if I'm in the background, then I definitely will be chiming in. So.
All right. Well, we're gonna start closing out. It's 5 o'clock. We're getting close here. I just want to give everybody an opportunity to give some part words to the community, some positive, encouraging words for relationships, or whatever you all want to give to the community before we close out. And then we'll have our magnificent Brittany go ahead and pull it all together and articulate what she put out of today's conversation. So we'll start from left to right. We'll start with Vivian first. We'll have Vivian, Aaron, and then when Santana comes back on, or Juan, it'll be Juan after that, and then we'll move up the screen.
Well, I just want to say, firstly, that today's show was really great for me. It was good. Secondly, ideally, we have a person in mind that we want. So what I take from it is that everybody has their own belief system. everybody has had their own personal experiences, okay? At the end of the day, okay, and this is my personal opinion from my own personal experiences of evolving and becoming this woman that I am now. And I'm not going to be the same today, next year, okay? So those things and those standards are going to so they're going to change. It depends on what we encounter. But ultimately, it all boils down to knowing your self-worth. Knowing your self-worth and adding taxes to it, okay? I have a t-shirt that says that. And if you do not know your self-worth, you are going to allow any type of energy into your space. So it is very important to understand, not just with seeing with your eyes, but pay attention with your ears to what a person has to say and see if it's parallel to what they do. Okay? So you have to begin to hold yourself accountable when you continually deal with the people that are not cohesively attached to your vision, cohesively attached to who you see yourself being with for the long term. You can't ignore the signs. And we can't continue to point fingers if we're not looking at the mirror, at the man in the mirror, at the woman in the mirror. We have to know what we want in order to attract what we want. Because at the end of the day, you can believe it or not. And like I tell people all the time, even I've talked to people that don't believe in God or people that feel this way about God or whatever. Even though you don't believe, it don't mean it ain't real. Okay? So at the end of the day, you have to believe in what you know, believe in what you say, and make it work, period. So I just want to thank everybody for allowing me to be me on this panel, because I am who I am and I will change for no one. So love you guys. Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving.
And we love you too. And we're glad that you're here. And there's nothing wrong with anything that you said today. That's what this is all about, being real, being authentic. I wouldn't have it any other way. This conversation is for our community, our people. And again, we create this space so that we can keep our truth. Whatever you believe is your perspective, and that's fine. And thank you again for bringing so much to the conversation today. And we appreciate you. Brother Aaron, you want to go ahead and give some parting conversation or words to the community before we close out?
Yeah, first I want to say, just for myself, right? I realize this. You have to love yourself, right? And then looking for a mate, right? You have to love yourself, but I don't believe you should look for a mate and want her and want her to love you or validate you. You validate your own self, right? And then on the flip side of that, hopefully she's doing the same and you can just enhance that. We're here just to enhance each other, the love that we have for self or whatever in others, and vice versa. So you can't make a person be what you want them to be. They are what they are to you. And so that'd be my one thing. And then the other thing is everybody have a happy and blessed Thanksgiving. It's not a sin to be kind to other people, right? I think we lack kindness a lot of times. And part of being kind is stepping outside of yourself, and sometimes you have to view things from another perspective. So everybody try and go out and be kind this holiday season and enjoy your loved ones, and happy Thanksgiving. And hopefully we'll get together and do this again.
Man, powerful stuff. Thank you, Aaron, for being a part of the show. Tell Camille I said hello. Thank you. Okay. And we're definitely looking forward to having you a part of another conversation. I think we got to continue these conversations. It is a part of healing. I think we got to get off of our chests. There's a lot of stuff in our community. And, I think these are the conversations that started. Somebody out there is going to think different. Somebody's going to get prepared a little bit different. So thank you all for that. Brother Santana, come on and give some parting words to the community.
Listen, man, everybody on this panel is dope. All of you guys are dope, top to bottom. I see Brother Juan has left us, man. But I just want to say this. There's a fine line of understanding yourself, critiquing yourself, and really showing up for yourself. I think that we need to start showing up for ourselves so we can show up for others. And when you show up for others, you allow your light to shine. Relationships are about balance. Relationships are not about who brings what to the table. I agree with Latoya about, who cares about gender roles? You do what works for your relationship. And that's a fact. Who's ever better at managing money, let them manage the money. I have a friend of mine, his wife cuts the grass. I thought that was some egregious shit when I first saw it. I mean, you got your wife out here in Tennessee cutting the grass, 95 degrees, but that's what she enjoyed doing. I couldn't believe it. And that's my frat brother. I was pissed off at him at first. But I realized that's what works for their relationship. And he, in turn, had to learn how to do their twin daughter's hair. So I walked in the house one day and he was putting barrettes and clips on his daughter's hair. So I thought it was the funniest shit in the world. But I realized at that point, gender roles are really made up and they really can put us in a box. And I think that stifles relationships as well. But at the end of the day, I do believe that men, we are ultimately responsible for our families, spiritually, financially, and morally. I would not let men off the hook. We have forced our women into masculine positions. We forced our women to feel like they don't need us. We forced our women to feel like we are just an accessory versus a need. Therefore, I think from this conversation to the rest of everyone listening out here, I think there has to be that balance that we all understand what works for us without making the other person that you say you love, making them feel small or unneeded or unwanted. But you guys have a good holiday, good Turkey Day. And I look forward to the conversation again. No generalizations, but we'll be more specific on the conversations next time.
Thank you, Brother Santana, man. And, just want to give you kudos for continuing always to reach out, uplift, and inspire. Several times you have reached out to me as well. So just want to give you that and just let you know, man, powerful stuff.
Oh,
and thank you.
And by the way, John, to anybody in Houston over the weekend, I want to thank Renata and I want to thank Vivian. They will be coming to an event. I would be honored at this event in Houston on the 27th. It's called an All Black Affair. And I was voted one of the most 30 out of 30 people. I was voted one of the most influential people in Houston. And I've only been here for 1 year. So I would be receiving an award as an All Black Affair. Vivian went and bought her dress today, she told me. And Renata just told me she's going to be accompanying too. Right, Renata? Am I right? You're going to be coming out? Right. So it's going to be an All Black Affair. They're going to be there to support me on my big day. You guys know I'm an engineer. I'm a corporate engineer by day, and life coach is what I do to my brothers at night or whenever there's time. And it means a lot to me to be a part of a platform like this and to be around people like you guys to share great ideas. So ladies, I love your perspectives. I've always loved your perspectives. I'm the youngest and the only boy out of 4 children, have all sisters. So to listen to women's perspectives, it means a lot. It really does. And I applaud everything you women do. And by the way, Black women, I love you all to pieces.
All right. Right on, man. Right on. Brother Darius, go ahead and get a community. Some parting words. Thanks for what you brought to the platform today. Showing being that model for other fellas in the community. But go ahead and leave some following words out to the community.
Yes. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for being on here. I've learned so much today and everybody's perspective, man. You just opened up my mind even more. So even though I am in a relationship and you all may be single, don't think I haven't learned anything. I'm continuously learning every single day. Renata, thank you for the invite. John, thank you for having me on. First and foremost, I just want to let everybody know, in looking for your relationship, or if that's something that you're truly seeking, and once you get with that person, what I've done, which was a huge thing for me to be able to do, and it definitely took prayer, was I took the initiative and I decided to just water my own grass, which is her. That seed, which is her. Now she's blossoming into a full-blown flower that I didn't even know exists. So fellas, if you're really seeking that out, if you're really, really, truly wanting that woman to pour into you like you want to, you definitely have to pour into her what needs to be done. I can't stress that enough, man. since I blocked out everything, every type of distraction that I knew would come my way, and just focus solely on the grass in my household, things could never have been better. We still have brown spots in the yard, but I'm putting fertilizer right there as well too, every single day. And that's something that we just have to learn how to do, man, because we just was told statistically we're outnumbered 20-1. So distractions always come. There's always going somebody else think that their yard is better, but just focus on yours and watch how it blossoms and blooms. And you'll be a happier person with that individual than you could ever imagine. Thank you all.
Great words, King. Very proud of you. Much success for what you're doing. Love what you just said. Very powerful stuff. Thank you for being a part of this today. When we have part 3, we definitely will reach out to you, get you back, get an update, and see what's going on. You know what I mean? But thank you very much for being here today. Adrina, go ahead and give some part words to the community, sister.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you, Renata, for inviting me. This has been truly a blessing. And thank you, John, for the platform for us to be able to speak and relate to the community. What I can say right now is dating can be challenging, but it can be something that's so beautiful. It's your mindset, how you look at it, how you go into it, how you receive it. Become the best version of yourself. Like everybody else says, love yourself first. Don't look for confirmation from anybody else. You got it. You got it. Just trust and believe when the time is right, your significant other, the love of your life, your soulmate will enter into your life. And you guys will be happy. Other than that, don't worry about the small stuff. Ain't got time for it. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right. Powerful, powerful words. Thank you very much, Queen. Miss Latoya, come on and give the people some parting words today.
Thank you, King John. I appreciate you. And I appreciate this platform. This is a very important space that, I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know I needed until, July, my first time on the show. First of all, I want to say thank you just to the whole Both Sides of the Conversation team. I am a member of the team. I failed to mention that earlier. But the work that you guys do and the prioritization of our people in our community is more than just remarkable and impressive, but it's it's part of the solution. And it's something that should be nationwide and international as well. Secondly, Brother Darius, where do I tithe to your church? Because you was dropping some gems. But the 3 things I would encourage the community to do is, number 1, do your work. Mental health is wealth. Pick one thing every week or every month to work on and focus on yourself. As the rapper Mia X says, if you follow her every day, she says, focus on your focus. Practice self-love is number 2. Self-love can be giving yourself 1 hour a day to just breathe and not think about what you need to do, what you want to do, what you're trying to just be okay with who you are. Everything you need is already within you. Love who you are and accept who you are. And number 3, this is, I'm going to have to borrow this, Sister Vivian, Queen Vivian. Know your worth and add taxes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Latoya. Thank you for all you do for the community as well as for our people. Appreciate you being here today, committed. So just thank you again for doing what you do for our community and being part of both sides of the conversation. Enjoyed the conversation. I know we always shoot the stuff to each other, but great stuff and just proud of the leadership and the things that you're doing. So thank you again. Miss Renata, you want to give your parting words today to the community?
I thought I did already. I didn't.
I mean, if that's what you wanted to give, that
was my whole thing in a nutshell. I'm on the background on both sides of the conversation too. I failed to mention that too as well. But no, I did my parting things. I know we're gonna have a part 3, 4, 5, 6 because the thing about it is relationship. There's so many layers. It's going to be ongoing. Hopefully not this long, but but yeah, that's all I have to say. Great panelists.
And Brittany, patiently waiting. I know we're an hour, but Brittany want to kill me, everybody. But Brittany, can you please give us your call to action, your phenomenal wrap up of today's show, and then I'll close us out.
Yeah, I think that the call of action has already been said over and over and over and over again on the show today. I feel like we just can't say it no more about the importance of just, recognizing, yourself, loving yourself, presenting yourself in the best way, knowing your worth, knowing what you want, being intentional. Like we've said all these things over and over again. And I just think that, as we grow, we learn, we heal, we recognize as we continue to have these discussions, we continue to, take in bits and pieces that continue to add to our healing journey. And this is what it's all about. The basis of the conversation today was really about, how can we heal these relationships in the Black community? And when it all boils down to it, it starts with self. Once again, just loving yourself, knowing what it is that you want, recognizing when you have your self-worth and you're operating in your sense of self, recognizing that the environments that you in are not healthy and that you deserve better, and having the strength to move forward and make those changes. And so I just want to thank all the panelists for coming today and just adding all their great insights. I just love when we bring in people from across the country, and it's not so much, focused and centered on the Bay Area. So we like all the different perspectives and everything that came today. And so I'm looking forward to the next one. I know I was getting text messages and I saw some of the comments where like people were wanting to like add their 2 cents in. And so I just want to say we probably need to take this, like start going to Clubhouse and like, I don't know if people even still use Clubhouse, but having an after show, like if we're gonna stay on an hour late, then let's bring in other people, maybe do an after show on Clubhouse or something like that so people can like add their 2 cents in as well, verbally instead of, typing it. Because I know people have stuff to say today. But great show, everybody. And, I look forward to talking to you all again, on part 3. And happy Thanksgiving.
Definitely. We want to be able to connect with as many as people as we put this information out. You have to sign up. I know there's a couple people who reached out to me as well. We put this information out weeks and weeks and weeks. People just got to sign up and get on. It's a limited amount of spots, but it's a great conversation. And sometimes you get too many people, it's hard to have these conversations. So I just want to say thank you to all the panelists for giving up your time today, coming on here, giving your experience or your perspective. I think it's been very, very powerful stuff. I've taken in a lot. And again, these are what these conversations do, is to move our community and have the difficult conversation. I just want people that know, thank you to all of our folks, both sides of the conversation, people that's been commenting in the chats, watching and following and support us. We thank you as well. And again, these conversations, can be triggering. And they can upset you. But again, in our community, we believe that we have to tackle these taboo conversations and these stigma conversations in our community, because a lot of times these conversations don't happen. And a lot of times the conversations sometimes lead into negativity and other things of that nature. But us being here, our part of changing the narrative, sometimes we got to have these difficult conversations and get some of these things that we don't really want to talk about and deal with. And it is frustrating. And it does, at times, sometimes trigger folks. But we got to have these conversations. We believe here that the pathway to healing is through communication. And I believe some folks today in the community was able to take something from this. Again, I always tell people, don't worry about the messenger, just get the message, right? And sometimes we can't worry about if it's John or Santana or somebody else saying something. Sometimes just take what you need. And I tell that people when I do motivational speaking, when I talk to my young people, you can't worry what the person look like or who's giving a message. Take what you could get out to put in your toolbox so that you can fix and repair the things that you need to do in your life, your home, your business. And that's just being real. And again, it is always difficult to have these conversations, but I appreciate it. I embrace it. And, here we always trying to grow and develop to be more impactful and powerful for the community. We're going to continue to do our part here at Both Sides of the Conversation, to be in the community, blessing the people. It is more than just conversations. We are out there trying to make sure that we bring the resources to the people. We want to make sure that our community is impacted so that we all can connect through this platform. You heard Brother Santana, different folks reaching out. We're networking. We're building up this powerful stuff that's happening across this country. And it starts with these folks that was here today. Shout out to Brother Darius, making connection with other Black couples. The only way we could do it is we got to move in action. Sometimes we want to just sit back and complain about what the problem is, but we're not really willing to step up in a leadership role and take that action. So thanks to Brother Darius for bringing couples together, trying to get them on trips, trying to do other things to bring Black love back to our community. We know it's needed. Very powerful, powerful stuff. And just want to say thank you to all the queens on here, Brittany, Latoya, and all the other sisters, Renata, Adrina, all of y'all. Powerful stuff, and we appreciate you. And we also salute and uplift our queens of the community. To the kings on here, man, kings supporting kings is the movement. Kings supporting queens is the movement. I will always be behind it. And I'd like the leadership of Santana for always taking the lead, reaching out to the brothers, making sure we all connected. Because at the end of the day, we have to teach this to our young brothers. We have to teach them, even if I don't know you, you are not my enemy. Even if I don't know you, I can learn something from you and grow with you. So again, I am appreciative of all the leadership that you fellas are doing. Brother Aaron, for taking that leadership and marriage and leading your family and leading the community in the way you do. We appreciate you as well. And here at both sides of the conversation, y'all know what we about, blessing our people, and we will continue to do that. And it'll be through these conversations, and it'll be through the action of the community, of the work and the support that we do to unify our community, bring us together. We'll help fix this Black love. We'll help fix these racial justice issues. We will help fix the food securities in our communities that we are impacted, because through our leadership and what we're trying to do, we will get other people to step with us and walk with us for this day coming. And I think we are coming, because the conscious minds of our people and our ancestors, the energy that's in the air, we have no time in this crisis to look apart. We have to look together, and it starts with all of us today, unified and pulling everybody together. So thank you all again for tuning in for this Sunday's part 2 relationship conversation. I hope you were able to get something out of it. I hope you was able to hear from some of the messages and some of the information that was given out for you to process as we step into this holiday weekend. We are so thankful for the things that we have, as we know so many people are impacted right now. And again, taking it into Thanksgiving with the Thanksgiving spirit, find somebody to unite. Open up in love. You heard Brother Santana. We have to lead with humility, compassion, and love. And I always say it takes gratitude. And I heard somebody say this past week, gratitude is your attitude. Don't be too big. Don't be too small. Everybody out here needs a little support and a little love. And if they're not where you at, be open and willing, and maybe you'll get there and move on. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you all this Tuesday for another segment of our Hidden Gem segment, where we will continue to highlight our Black and brown businesses, as well as community leaders and organizations that are doing things to positively impact our communities. And this next Thursday, we will not have an educational Thursday due to the Thanksgiving holiday, but we'll be getting back out to you all for all of the upcoming programming. Please follow us at both sides of the conversation on all social media handles, and we'll make sure that we keep you all up to date. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next on our next live show. Have a blessed evening, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.